I'd like to know what's the most scared that you've ever been.
The most scared I've ever been was I used to do a radio show on a station called XFM, and I used to do a thing on there called mundane text. So I'd say to this to send me in something mundane, and they send things in like, "Dear Richard, I can't decide what to have for dinner tonight: spaghetti bolognese or a pizza." Or, "Dear Richard, my dog is dead." And I'd read that out. One day, this guy sent in a text, and he says, "Dear Richard, I'm serving on a jury. I better not say any more. Simon." And I went on there and I said, "Simon, come. Why not text back in? Tell me all about the trial that you're serving on, and I'll tell you whether to go guilty or not guilty. And if you do that, I'll give you a My Chemical Romance CD." So I said to him, you know, one man's liberty turns on how much you like emo. And then at the end of that bit, I said, and if any police are listening, please disregard what I just said. Go home after the show. Next morning, the head of the whole radio group rings me up. I'm in my kitchen. He goes, "Richard, I've got 2 members of the Metropolitan Police in my office. You need to come into work and see them." They listened to the transmission because they just received a complaint. They've now listened to it, and they think it's so bad that you're going to have to go down to Charing Cross Road Police Station tomorrow at 10 a.m. with a lawyer, and they're going to interview you under caution. I'm like, what? What for? Reading out a text on the radio? And they escort me through the station into this police interview room, and they interview me for 3 hours. And they start the interview by the policeman says to me, he starts the tape, he goes, "For the tape, Mr. Bagan, will you please explain the nature of your radio show?" And I said, "Sure, it's got music on it." And we do a thing called mundane text, knowing where this was going.
Were you doing it like that, in kind of DJ speak? Yeah. Well, let me take you to the top of the hour.
It's the only way I know how to talk. And then he flips open a laptop and he goes, "Right, for the tape, we're now going to play the offending broadcast." And then it was fear layered on fear, because they then said, "Well, we're now going to take it to the Crown Prosecution Service. It's up to them if they want to go further, but we are investigating you for potentially perverting the course of justice," which is one of the most serious charges. Yeah. And then they left me hanging over Christmas for 3 weeks, and then the CPS rang up and said, "Yeah, we're not going to do anything." But that is definitely the most scared I've ever been.
Did you find out what could have been the worst that could have happened to you? Were you doing that, investigating?
Yeah, the maximum sentence for perverting the course of justice is life.
Really?
Yeah.
That's quite a long time, that, isn't it, really?
Prison radio you could have got into, you could have won some awards.
Yeah. Could have made a boat out of matches.
There was one little bit where... Yeah, I'm good at that.
You missed a lovely opportunity there to get some arts and crafts.
Yeah.
Get some Blue Peter practicing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Mickey.
Well, mine's not an actual incident of fear. It's a prolonged 2 or 3 years when I was a window cleaner. Because it's a nice job, and it's quite an interesting job because you sort of become a bit invisible, you know. I mean, there's a general contract that goes on between you and the public, and it's if you keep the chamois moving, you're largely ignored, and you're allowed to stare in on the world and sort of. But the downside is that you could die at any moment.
Did you ever have moments when you were genuinely scared then?
You do what they call a drop, and you go down, then you come up, and you go down, and you come up. When you get to the end of a building, often the wind will catch you and blow you right out. You know?
Right.
So you're literally, and then it starts to spin. And often it's just absolutely terrifying.
There are some causes worth dying for, and I guess a clean office block isn't really one of them.
It was 50 quid a day, cash in hand.
Yeah.
And I was signing on and getting my rent paid.
Bit of a touch.
Mickey.
You know, I was a local catch.
Mickey, my window there is looking a little bit dirty. Head out there.
Yeah.
See how you get on. Danny, just pass to Mickey.
This piece of shit you're giving me.
Oh, I didn't realise that.
That's going to be more expensive,
Professional,
isn't it? Yeah.
Charlie. You told me this was a proper show.
I'm sorry, mate. I do apologise.
Danny, it'll take Mickey a little while to get his ladder against the window.
Right. I've got to have a breakfast.
Danny,
yes.
you've got a bit of time there. Tell us the most scared that Danny Wallace has ever been.
For a while, when I was sort of starting out, I would go on these ghost watches, sometimes to the BBC. I'd kind of be their man on the street, and they'd send me into these sort of haunted places, or they're supposed to be haunted. And I sort of laugh about it. I think nothing would happen. And then, Charlie, things would happen. Oh. Very odd things would happen. Like we did one at the Tower of London. And I'm walking past these sort of turrety bits, and I look out over London, and I think, I'm very lucky to be here, this is great. And then, from right behind me, there's a window that leads to a bedroom that hasn't been opened in years, and suddenly, piercing the night sky and the silence. Not that. That sounded like a man
Try that one.
dropping a sovereign ring.
Try that.
Yeah, like that. It was like that. Boom, right behind me. I ran, Richard, that night. I ran away like a tiny, scared little child.
Nothing moved or anything like that.
Nothing
Like
moved.
a lamp didn't go.
No,
the
ghost respected me, Charlie. That's in there.
He's still got it, hasn't he? He's still got. Not that I know how to assess window cleaning.
Ladder's a bit short.
We have to pick a winner there.
Yeah.
I think because of the lengths that he has gone to.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of that round, Mickey Flanagan.
Yeah!
Dawn Walsh, what would you like to talk about?
Perfect day. I think, yeah, what's everyone's perfect
What
day?
would be your perfect... All right, what's yours?
Mine, I'd like to wake up at about 3 in the afternoon.
You're wasting your perfect day.
Yeah. And then go to bed at about 3:10. Cheers. But I think, wake up really late, like 3 o'clock, 3:30, and... no, I'm not going to say that. All right, I'll have a wank. And then I'd go and... Oh, I have Barocca now.
No, do you?
Yeah, just Barocca.
This is your perfect day. So you'd have some Barocca.
I quite like it. And then like
After a wank.
A multi...
Now, I know what Barocca does when you go for a wee.
Yeah.
Does the same thing happen? And I think this is worth finding out. For a wank.
I think there's definitely more semen.
Is there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
Good. I mean, me and my wife trying to have a baby at the moment, so that's
Barocca.
quite useful to know. It's quite useful to
Barocca.
know. Yeah, great.
Or just fuck her.
That is where I've been going wrong.
Yeah.
Sean, this is a really shit day.
no, it's a shit day to you because I'll just have some Barocca. Then I'll go into the Lanes in Brighton. There's a place called the Lanes, which is these sort of thin roads and lots of cafes. And I'll have a coffee and I sit there until it gets dark, smoking and drinking coffee and people watching. I love people watching.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
That's it. That's my perfect. Just do nothing.
Rufus, your ideal day.
I mean, it'll sound like a fucking carnival after that. Gotta kick it off, breakfast in bed, am I right? Of course I'm right. Perfect day's gonna start with breakfast in bed.
Breakfast
right?
in bed makes no sense. You're not also with the right posture.
Oh, whoa. This
You can't digest
coming
it
from
properly.
Yeah.
Richard Bacon. Come on, why is breakfast in bed a rubbish idea?
Yeah, because you can't digest it properly, because you're laying back a little bit. You can't really, it doesn't really get down the esophagus properly.
Sit up!
You need to sit. Sit at a table if you're going to sit up.
No, don't sit.
Why sit up in bed?
Oh, no. It's just noise now. Listen. Right? Breakfast in bed, two things happening there. A, you've woken up. Boom! There's eggs. What? Yes. Right? So this is obviously happening with, with the missus. Then it all gets a bit cuddly because you've kind of woken up in this very nice way. Right? So immediately you've had all the things you need to give you the energy to do what is destined to happen.
He has a wank.
In my wife.
What a lovely description of the beautiful act of lovemaking. I was having a wank in my wife.
Now, I've got a little boy. So, in this fantasy land, right, he has been absolutely stone asleep till midday, right? But at midday, he's up and he's running about. Now, as a parent, it's always quite conflicting because I think often when you try and manufacture a perfect day, the first stop is, what do we do with that? Right? For a lot of the things that grown-ups enjoy, you actually need to get them out of the way. Right. But truth be told, it wouldn't be my perfect day if he wasn't there because he's brilliant, yeah? So then what do you do there, right? You get all the other friends who've got kids and people who have just basically all your mates. And you're out, it's in the park, it's the afternoon, it's a barbecue, it's French cricket, it's frisbee. You cannot beat the British barbecue for bringing people together. The primitive design. I mean, we know about beer and pizza in this room, right, everybody? Yeah. But nothing says masculine like meat over fire, right? It speaks to the primitive, it speaks to the necessary, right? So you've done all that, few more beers, lovely. obviously you're getting into the territory now of irresponsible parenting. At what point have you had too many beers to actually take care of your child? I don't know. But what I do know is about 5 minutes before that, his grandparents turn up and they take him away, right? He's now back out of the equation, as are all the other kids that were there, leaving the grown-ups to just get on with the business of just drinking. And that, frankly, at 31 in my life, is the perfect day.
Charlie, what's yours?
Mine's very similar to Rufus, and I've had the perfect. I've had the perfect day. We woke up. I was camping with my best mate, my brother, and his best mate in Cornwall, in a really nice campsite. This is the perfect day before I was married with children. Let's just say that.
Because at the moment it's just in a tent with your brother.
Have you met my brother?
But with that accent, I can imagine how close you are.
So, anyway, we're in a tent in Cornwall with my best mate and my brother and his best mate, and we've been camping a couple of days, and we're all into it. We've had a good night out the night before, woke up, we're up and we're out. Let's go down to Padstow, buy crab lines, had a crabbing competition. Who's the best crabber? Brilliant. Got big buckets of crabs. But then we had a crab race, crab race down the thing. That was brilliant. Pasty, pint of cider, speedboat, £2.50 it was at that point for a 20-minute ride, brilliant speedboat ride round the bay. And then we saw on the way back to the campsite, there was a stunt show on. A stunt show.
Yeah. Sure, man, you still with us?
Yeah. A man...
He's not recreating your perfect day.
A man who Scott May's Daredevil stunt show...
Stay awake.
Within...
You... How dare you?
Put yourself in there.
Why have I got to be nearer to this?
No, that's a nice touch.
There we are. There you go.
Thank you.
Kick back, Sean. It's very comfortable. There we go. Sorry. You were just telling us about... It's not going to start again, is it?
No.
Why he'd fall asleep? During a story about crab racing?
Stunt show. A stunt show. Scott May's Daredevil stunt show, within which he jumped over a double-decker bus on a motorbike and did loads of other stuff. But he was going to do the double-decker bus, but they hadn't booked a big enough field, which is sort of not very good. It's not the best thing if you're doing a stunt show to say, we were going to do the bus, we're going to do this mini instead. It's not as impressive.
Yeah.
Scott May's stunt show, and we all went out, a few drinks, and we ended up back at the campsite, and there, in the bar at the campsite, was like a band, and they were called Berserk, right? Spelt B-Z-R-K, and they were awful, but brilliant. Awful, but brilliant.
Do you want me to cut this short?
This was the best day in the whole world.
Can you imagine how pissed off you'd be if you met him at the end of that day and you went, "How was your day?"
And I said...
What's your suggestion?
I'd like to talk about things that we're passionate about, but no one else is passionate about, or not many other people are.
What's your own?
I'm trying to be serious. I feel quite passionate about this. Am I allowed to be serious, even though I'm out with Joe?
Yeah.
It's quite unfashionable, this. But I don't think we ever should have got rid of grammar school. I agree, secondary moderns, really unfair, and we should have fixed those. But for people that come from poor areas like me, that happen to be bright, grammar schools were the way to get to the posh universities. And since they got rid of that system, and this is a fact, there is less social mobility now. I can't even say mobility, that's how bad my education was. Governor, where are my role models? The social mobility has gone down, so a baby born now has got less chance of getting to Oxford, Cambridge or the posh unis when they go for the education.
Yeah, it's gone backwards, hasn't it? You wouldn't have thought it would have done. I guess the argument against it is if you siphon off the clever kids and put them in one school, then you leave behind all the not so clever kids.
Yeah, but
I come from that angle where I come from a, council. I lived in council house with. I went to a working class family, went to a normal school and that.
You went to school?
Yeah. You're going to be like this all night, ain't you?
Look, you know, my mum didn't have a clue. She had me when she was still a kid. Do you know what she asked? There was one school where you could sit an entrance exam for kids that were a bit bright. And she asked the cheese lady who served cheese at the co-op. She went, "What do you think I should do, Jackie?" She went, "Don't send him there. It's a pressure school." And I was sent to the comprehensive. So the lady who did the cheese in the co-op decided my education. It's a true story.
Should have asked the fish woman.
Cheese lady.
You've done all right, Russell. Look at you.
Yeah, but you can't look at me. I'm an exception. I weirdly got to 18, I got to 18 and thought, what have I done? I've got no exams. Went back and fixed it. I'm 0.001%. Most of us end up 30, 40 years old, go, shit, I wasted my education. What an idiot.
That was very passionate. Thanks.
There you go. I can be serious.
How about that, huh? Joe Swash, you know, you mentioned your thirst for knowledge. What are you passionate about that very few other people are?
Yeah, well, it's one of those things. Later on in life, recently, I've really become passionate about like the Tudors and Henry VIII and like history and castles.
That's what I'm talking about.
Really weird, you know, where I didn't have an interest in it.
Let's be clear that you're passionate about the Tudors, as in Tudor England and the Tudor dynasty.
Yeah, and just the way they.
See, people mock us.
See, you thought I was going to say something really like. But no, the history. I'm really into our history at the moment. I don't know why. I know I'm not like, you know, I don't read loads of books about it, but...
So, if you could, apart from Henry VIII, if you could be any Tudor, which Tudor would you be? Who else do you like?
Which Tudor? I like all the explorers, but they're not really a Tudor era. I mean...
This is all over the shop.
Do you like the Tudors?
I like Henry VIII. I love Henry VIII.
You just like Henry VIII?
But I don't like him. He fascinates me by what he'd done, you know. Changed our religion completely just to keep the divorce, you know. He was kind of the first person to kind of make his own law, make his own kind of...
Who were his wives again?
Oh, come on, he's got...
Are we allowed to help out or not?
Go on, help out.
Let him start.
We've got so don't think Jane Seymour. Jane Seymour.
Jane
Seymour.
Yeah.
Dr. Quinn, medicine woman.
We've got. Why did I say Tudors? There was got Catherine.
Catherine
Sally. She was. Hang on.
Anne Boleyn. You got Anne Boleyn. You got. Mary. Queen of Scots.
You didn't marry Mary.
Is that one or two, Mary?
After the third wife, I just think people thought, oh, let him get on with it, you know. let him just chop away.
Thanks, Joe. I love that. Charlie, what are you passionate about that no one else is?
I'm passionate about that no one else is the Citroen Berlingo.
Oh, what? Yeah, a few nods here, yeah.
It has got a loft at the back. It is the perfect sort of link-up of car and van. You can sometimes get away with, you know, parking it in a disabled space if you need to. And walk in just for 5 minutes. You can sort of get away with it. If you want to go sleep in it, you can put the seats down. Oh, honestly,
do you ever lose anything?
It is the ultimate...
You lose stuff.
Yeah, I lost my son in it once.
Did you drive it?
I drove to your flat today. I always drive to your flat, Richard.
Yeah, all right. Well, let's go and have a look at it.
OK, good. Yeah, let's go look at the lingo. Yeah, let's go speak the lingo.
Next slide.
Yeah.
This way.
Yeah. It's lovely. Yes, the Berlingo, Sahara Gold. It's known as Sahara Gold. It's
big, though, isn't it? It's very big.
No, it's not a van. No, it's the practicality of a van, but with all the joy of a car.
If you're able-bodied, are you allowed to buy one?
If you're able-bodied, you are allowed to buy one. You can sometimes get away. Well, yeah, spark her up if you want, mate. Spark her up. It is a bit like a taxi, yeah. It's got a roof rack and like a full...
Don't pull away with Charlie on there.
You find that less people break into this because they feel guilty.
You don't get stopped by the police.
Oh, Joe, get out.
Get out.
Listen, let's head back in. By the way, it's my neighbour, Mel Black from the All Saints. That's her flat just there.
Oh, all right, Mel.
Actually, come to think of it, that's a designated parking space. Move the car later.
I'm sorry, Charlie, that is beige. You're in denial, mate.
Yeah, it's
What a smashing version of Top Gear that was.
Thank you, Charlie. I think that the person that showed the most passion there, in all honesty, was Russell Kane.
Yes, Russell Kane.
I'd like to ask the panel, Richard, what really pisses you off?
OK, thank you very much. Jennifer there asked, what really pisses you off?
My toaster. Why? My toaster makes my blood boil, fills me with fury, because when I've got a 4-hole toaster, so that I can...
Full berth?
Yeah, a full 4-berth. It's a double twin, right? And when you depress the left-hand set of toasting holes, it trips out the whole house.
Right.
And the whole house goes off. Whatever everyone's doing goes boom, like that, because of the toaster.
Why don't you just throw the toaster out?
Shut up, I've had electricians round. You sound like everyone I know. I've had electricians round to look at it and they can't get to the bottom of the mystery. There's absolutely no way I'm buying another toaster.
But you know they're readily available and
I am
really
not
easy to
buying
find.
another
I've
toaster.
got a toaster you might like. I'll throw one at the mix. I just got a brand new one. It's see-through.
What?
It's transparent. The side's transparent. It's amazing. You turn it on and then you don't even need to wait to smell burning. You just look across the kitchen and go...
Look, we're talking about what annoys me. Not what miracle toaster. And it's me in technology, basically, is what makes me go crazy. Like
Well, is there another bit of technology in the house?
Well, my iPhone last week, all the emails just vanished off it the other day. And the email would appear, and I'd just get to read it. I'd be halfway through reading it, and it would disappear.
My iPhone 3 stopped being any use, and I was ready for an upgrade, actually, today.
Yeah.
But it didn't come. Then I phoned up today and asked where my iPhone 4 was, and it had been signed for by someone called Donnelly. So she said, Donnelly has signed for it. And I said, I don't know Donnelly. So she said, well, it's someone... Donnelly knows you. But then I said, look, who is Donnelly? And they said, well, we've got your address here. And then she goes, OK, that might be the problem. And the address they had is Flat 1, London.
Is that not the top of Big Ben?
Number 1 London is on Marble Arch, isn't it? It's where Wellington lived.
Right, well, that's a nice little trip for me tomorrow, isn't it?
Someone cloned a credit card of mine once, and I did the thing of chasing the trail. And I used to live in Tooting, and whoever it was, we kept going into a computer shop in Tottenham and buying a computer on the hour every hour, like 1,500 quid's worth of computer on the hour. And I rang the bank, and we're going through all my transactions. They go, there's £20 in Tooting for the cash box. Yeah, that's me. That's where I live. Yeah. And then 10 minutes later, there's a computer for 1,500 quid in Tottenham. I said, well, that's not me. And then there'd be another thing in Tooting, and I go, that's me. And then she go, and then there's another transaction for another £1,500 in Tottenham.
That's him.
That's him.
I got a call from my bank saying, oh, Mr Bacon, we think there's been someone stolen your card. I'm so sorry about that. And I said, OK, oh, that's a shame. I thought I got it on me. He said, yeah, it was used last night. Basically, someone spent £1,000 in Hooters in Nottingham. And I went, oh, now, that's not been stolen.
They're dressed up as you. They're on the front of the mirror as well.
I tell you what, that was a lot of chicken wings. I had a delivery of Bose speakers, right, and it didn't turn up. And I rang them and said, where's my Bose speakers? And they said, oh, you weren't in, we took it over to your neighbour and they signed for it. And they sent me the docket. And it got my neighbour's signature, and I know their name, their actual signature. I went over and knocked on and said, hey, mate, you've got my Bose speakers. He went, no, I haven't. I went, well, here's your signature. He went, oh.
You would never get that up north.
Would you not?
You would never get it. Everyone knows each other.
It's all Sanyo.
Yeah, it's... Yeah, well, we're having
I think it pisses you off.
It's when it's a nice day outside, when it's nice weather.
Yeah, I hate that.
And, yeah.
Decent weather.
Sun giving life to a planet, you twat. No, it's when it's nice weather and people just... When you get... people have a go at you for not going out and enjoying the sun. Yeah. And people say if you've stayed inside, people say you've wasted the day. My mum does it all the time.
She's right.
She's not. She's wrong. I was on the phone to her and she said, it's a lovely day. Get yourself outside. I went, and do what? And she went, just get outside. What? Just stand there. What am I supposed to do? I went to her one day. I went, oh, I've been in. I got a new game. I was playing it today. I had a day off. I've been travelling around doing gigs and stuff. Oh, I've just had a day off. Wasted the bloody day. Wasted the day. Me and your dad were in the garden. Had a lovely afternoon in the garden. Fell asleep. You wasted the day. You slept through it. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Clap that. Thank you. It's ridiculous. Oh, it's supposed to
How old are you?
I'm 24, but she just changes her plans.
I know, as you get older, I think you appreciate sunshine a little bit more.
I think you appreciate your mother a bit more.
Mine is travel etiquette, generally, I think. Particularly on, for example, aeroplanes. And the moment the seatbelt light goes off, people just turn into, like, animals, leap out their seat, try and get their stuff out of the overhead containers, and rush off the plane. And I don't, for the life of me, know what they think
they're achieving. All they're going to do is get to the luggage carousel, yeah, and I'll just see them there 10 minutes later.
I got off a plane once and I saw a guy, and you know the snake thing? He must have been about 50 odd. You know the snake little thing you go through? He just ducked down and just ran and all of them. He got right in the front, and then I was standing right at the baggage carousel. He was just standing there going... right next to us. And I got my case before and went, see you later, mate.
The other one was trains as well. I was on a train the other day, and it was standing room only, and a guy had got a massive case and he put it across 2 seats. And I said to him, you know, I'd got a seat, but it was annoying me. And I went up and said, why don't you just move your case?
It's nothing to do with you.
Nothing to do with me.
Oh, were you being a hero?
I was being a hero. I could see women and children.
A famous guy came over and asked me to move their case.
So I pulled up my shirt and revealed a Superman top with the most fucking severe V-neck on the planet.
See, when you travel your comics, you travel around the country, you must see some pretty bad travel etiquette, Tim.
Oh, I was on a bus a couple of weeks ago, and someone, you know, they rang the bell a bit too much, and the bus driver stopped the bus, leant his head out, and said, "Once is more than enough." It's not really. Once is enough.
It is, So, what have you done that you'd like to confess to? Something you've done you would like to confess to? Mark Wright from The Only Way is Essex.
When I was young, me and my brother,
You must
sounds
have
like
done stuff more recently you want to confess to, Mark. Come on.
I'm leaving the last 10 years out of it. And we broke into my school because we thought the history room was haunted.
So you broke into your school?
It was at night time, the school was shut, locked up, and we went in there because we were...
Smashed the glass?
No, no, no.
How'd you do it?
The PE door was always weak, and we just went in.
And you're sure there's nothing from your era of running nightclubs that you'd rather confess to?
Definitely not. Really.
No, right. Look, here's mine's not wholly dissimilar. I instigated a bomb scare at my school, and... oh, yeah. Basically, a load of my friends, they'd broken out of the school at night, we slept there, you know, dormitories, went and nicked a car, went joyriding, and they got expelled, so my bomb scare was a revenge attack. I mean, my school was such a stickler for the rules. Threw them all out. So I instigated this bomb scare, and that was clearly a bad thing to do. And the headmaster, alarm went off, and all these firemen turned up, and they were shouting, "Get back from the building!" And the headmaster, straight afterwards, called this emergency assembly, and he addressed us all, and he went, "I will, like a president, he went, I will leave no stone unturned. I will find out who is responsible for this bomb scare." And he didn't find out who was responsible for that bomb scare until now. This whole confession does rely on my ex-headmaster watching ITV4 and still being alive.
My confession is bomb-related as well. That didn't come out as well as I thought it would. I was in Belfast. I'd been emceeing a gig, and at half-time, I'd been told by the promoter that we had a bomb scare in the venue, and there's quite possibly a bomb somewhere in the room. And it was up to me to decide whether to tell the audience or not. And I decided not to, because it was a good gig. I knew that it was some sort of prank or lunatic.
OK.
But it was a dude who'd been kicked out of the show earlier and had gone around to the nearest telephone box, which was right outside a police station, and rang in his death threat while cops were looking at him.
My good friend Roxanne Palla over there at the bar, you've got a story yourself, I think, of something you'd like to confess.
A little confession.
Oh, no.
It's not kinky. All right, I've had my appendix out.
OK.
And I didn't need it out.
So why... I don't understand. Why did you have your appendix out, then?
Because I wanted the day off school to go and queue for Take That's album.
That...
I didn't mean it to go that far. I made this deal with my friend, and we were going to meet at Woolworths. Remember Woolworths? Oh. We were going to meet in the morning and just, you know, fake tummy bug and just sneak out at half-time and then, you know, queue up and get Take That's album. You can't do that when you're at school. So my friend, her plan went to, you know, it it worked out well for her. She got the day off school. And by lunchtime, I was hooked up on a drip in the emergency room and I got my appendix out. But I've got a huge scar, and to this day, my family don't know that I faked it. But I knew then I would be an actress, because I filled them all.
Yeah, well done. But did you get the Take That tickets?
No, it was for their album.
For the album, all right.
I don't even know why we wanted to get it. I mean, it would have been out the next day and the day after that, but it was just like the buzz of, we've got Take That's album. But I got my appendix out.
Which album was it?
It was the one where there were, like, dolls. Remember that? Never Forget.
Never Forget.
Like
If you hadn't shunned the internet, you could have just downloaded it.
Didn't the doctor know when he opened you up and went...
They took it out as a precautionary because I was like, oh, I just picked a side. It was like 50-50. I just picked the right. So they took it out, and then afterwards, when I came round, I remember my grandma saying, I don't know what it was. It must have just been wind, because your appendix was fine when they got it out.
I ruptured a vocal cord singing to Never Forget at a Take That concert. We have both sacrificed body parts.
For Take That's Never Forget.
I feel like we should tell Gary Barlow and go out to dinner.
I'm not bothered about that bit. Oh. But, listen, I think the winner of that round is clearly Roxanne Pallett. Joe, next question, what would we like to talk about?
My question is, when's the last time you've had an argument with a stranger?
That's a good question, Joe. Russell Kane, how about you? What's your answer to that?
Because I have to book my tour so much in advance, I get all the first-class train tickets on the cheap. Because I come from a working-class background, I love travelling first class, I get off on it. I was getting the last train out of London to Cambridge, right? Ran on, and a couple of trains had been cancelled. It was rammed, even first class. It was a Type 2 first-class carriage where you've got a little bit of first class at the front and the rest of the train is normal, you know, with the glass doors. So, we've got no air out here, how interesting. It was one of those. I got the last train in first class, bang, sat down, happy as Larry. As the train went out, the doors opened, and this, you know, when someone's so posh, they look a bit crippled from it. I'm so posh, I can't move, one of those. Pheasants hanging off her belts and stuff. Just walked in, I'm the youngest person by about 20 years, and she's just staring at me, you know, give up your seat, young man, how can you be so rude? I would have given up my seat, but as soon as someone aggressively solicits charity, I think, you know what, do some HRT or something, get out my face. And after about 10 minutes, I thought I'm going to give up my seat. My arse was about a millimetre off the seat, where she's leant in and said this, right? Excuse me, young man, are you sure you're in the correct seat, right? It took me a moment to work out what she's implying, right? I see all the people on the train. I was thinking into it. Good God, and I really can't make her English. Some of them just merged with the floor. Expelliarmus, they disappeared, right? Then just everyone's working out what they think. She says this is a first-class carriage, right? I went, I know it's first. Bearing in mind the chip I got on my shoulder, my mum's a cleaner, my dad was a lagger, right? Hard job, I got a chip on my shoulder, I worked hard to get what I got. And then I went, I know it's first class, that's why I'm sitting in it. And she came in with this, I'm not making this up, show me your ticket. I'm not showing you. Now, people now, one posh guy just died in his seat from the shock. Who in this room would show their ticket to anyone except the ticket inspector, right? And it's the first time in my life, as a white, normal person, I've experienced what it must feel like to get prejudice in public like that. So my blood's rushing, I feel victimised and all this shit. I'm not showing you my ticket. She went, right, I'm going to get off the train with you at Cambridge, because I told her I was going to Cambridge. We'll walk to the gates. I will tell the inspector where you were sitting when we get to the gates, and then we'll check your ticket together.
Amazing.
Right? And this is what came out. Bearing in mind, I know we're relaxed tonight, but when I'm on stage, if I need to think of a comeback, I'm the master of the surreal, the intellectual put down. I can make someone feel this big, so I'm not proud. I just panicked. I'm not proud of what came out of my mouth. I got my ticket. Went, there it is. Look at it, bitch. Right?
There's a doorbell there. Now, look, we work hard on researching this show, and we knew you were going to tell this story. You gave us some prior notice, so our researchers on the show managed to actually track down the woman.
You brought her in, I will literally... You're lying, aren't you?
No. Why not? It's taken about...
Oh, fucking run.
It's taken a fortnight.
Oh, my God, look how much I'm sweating. Look how much I'm sweating.
No, I just...
Absolute shit.
Gordon Smart, what's yours?
A guy in the pub the other week, I was walking to the toilet and he said, "Oi, you're that jock from The Sun, innit?" And I was like, "Yes, I'm a Scottish man from The Sun." And he went, "You're not embarrassed that we're paying for your family in Scotland?" And I was like, this is the pub underneath my office, right? And I was like, so what are you talking about? He went, well, we're all paying for your prescriptions, aren't we? And all the old folk in the old folks' homes, we're paying for it, aren't we? And I said, well, you don't mind when we're spilling our blood for you in Afghanistan and Iraq, do you? And he punched me.
Thanks, Gordon. Joe Calzaghe, argument with a stranger. Surely no one's going to argue with Joe Calzaghe.
Well, actually, that's the thing. People don't really pick an argument with me, but road rage is the best bit. It's when people are behind me, if I pull out, and they're like, fucking get off the road, you know, doing all this. And all of a sudden, they pull up beside me and they, hey! So what fucking give them all this to pull up. Jay, what you doing, man? Yeah, sorry, mate. Yeah, so that's fun. I actually like that.
That's why Richard still carries Blue Peter badges in his glove box, just in case you get pulled in.
I've
got a gold Blue Peter badge already. Yeah. Hey, go knock it. I got a gold one.
You've got a gold Blue Peter badge
at home.
Have you? Now they are really, really
rare.
You can now get into the Motor Museum at Bewley entirely for free.
Nobody told me.
Thank you very much. Let's pick a winner. Who shall we have? So I think we should go... Yeah, it's Russell Kane, isn't it? What would you like to talk about?
Very simply, what makes you feel old?
OK. What makes you feel old? Alan Cochrane.
Loads of things. Loads and loads of things make me feel old. But I quite like it, though, because I've felt immature all my life. So the moments when you think, ooh, I feel a bit old, they're quite satisfying in a weird way. Caught myself moisturising my elbows the other day. It's a weird moment in life. Honestly...
Is that a euphemism?
No, that is a fact. I'm just worried that grooming habits are going to tiptoe up on me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get to, like, 60 and go, oh, I'm straightening my pubic hair with hair straighteners. Yeah, when did this start? You know, it's a worry, isn't it? It's a worry.
Rufus, what makes you feel old?
I think when you have a child, the game is different. And that's really the point at which you're aware that you can't live your life.
And congratulations, you have just had your second child.
Yeah.
We have got you a special gift. Tell everyone the name of your baby.
Hilda.
Hilda Boo. Oh, good, we did get that bit right. Yeah. So, look, a Hilda Boo baby grow, and on the back it says Richard Bacon's Beer and Pizza Club.
Nice.
And
Fantastic, thank you very much.
Oh, pleasure.
Oh, that's really rather touching.
I like the fact we're branding your baby with beer.
And pizza.
Did you have anything more to say on that, or did you want to move on?
Yeah, no, well, I think that's the point, really, where your life is you are old once you have a baby, because all of the things that you want to do, you can't really do anymore. So, who here's got a kid? Right, who here hasn't got a kid? Look at that, hands straight up, big smiles on their faces. Happy as larks, the lot of you. The thing you don't understand is when you have a kid, the amount you get headbutted in the face goes through the roof. Really? It's not really their fault, it's a design flaw. A little wobbly body, big heavy head.
I've got a baby on the way. It's my first child. Are you saying I'm making a terrible mistake?
No, it's not a terrible mistake. It's just if you like your life the way it is now...
I do.
It's a terrible mistake.
Rufus, is there something else specifically that makes you feel
Well, no, but
old?
this was where it dawned on me, is once you're having the child, you have to buy the house. Once you have the house, you have to make it better. And we had a wood floor put in at our house. And it dawned on me about a month after we'd moved in, I hadn't slid along it in my socks. If there was ever any more proof needed I had got old, there was a newly polished wood floor stretching for metres upon metres, had not slid along it.
Well, you'll be pleased to know that in my fake flat, I have a wood floor. Rufus.
Wow.
Would you like to do a slide?
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
Safety in mind.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, slide! That is probably the best thing ICV4 has ever put out.
Well, those are big plaudits.
Rasheen, anything that's made you feel old?
Music videos. I'm offended quite a lot when I watch music videos.
In fact, which bit offends you?
Tits and arse, basically, the whole time. I'm allowed to say that.
It's ITV4. After this is tits and arse.
What makes you feel old? This year, here's what makes me feel old. This year, I left the coveted 16 to 34 demographic. And just overnight, you're like worthless to advertisers. Overnight, you can't go on holiday in Faliraki. I had to throw out my Back to Ibiza Judge Jules CDs. Because if you think about it, when you're in the 16 to 34 demographic, even when you're at the latter end, people making products are targeting things at you and 16, 17, 18-year-olds. They think that you have the same interest as people who are 17. All of a sudden, you're in the 35 to 50 demographic, and they think I have the same interests as a 50-year-old. Just like that.
Isn't there an argument that the 35 to 50-year-old target group, the stuff that's being advertised at you now is better, isn't it? It's nicer, isn't it?
It's like
nice.
what? Like a bath with a door? Like a China plate with a cart horse on it?
Surely the bath with the door is...
These are things I don't want.
Have you really thought about the zip-up shoe?
Sean Walsh, what makes you feel old?
Not being able to climb over fences anymore, right?
Yeah.
Because when I was younger, you need to climb over fences. You can climb over fences. You need to climb over fences. You know, like for garden skipping or hopping. What do you call it? Garden skipping or hopping? Hopping, right? I called it skipping. So fuck you. No. Hopping, fine. We'll do garden hopping. We'll bring you in. Hopping, right? And which was good fun, wasn't it? In the back gardens, you garden skip. You get into people's back gardens. You try and do the whole street. Yeah.
Hang on. There may be people here not familiar with it. You may know it as breaking and entering.
You try and get to the end of the road. What happened to me once when I did it is me and a friend, we got into a garden and we're in the back of the garden about to get over and then someone's garden light went off. You know the ones that just go off when you move?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that. And we froze, we paused, we were very scared. The door opened and the bloke let his dog out. And at the point that he let his dog out, it was brilliant because at the time I had a Nokia 3210. You know, it's got a calculator and all that.
Yeah, it's a classic.
At the moment the dog came out, someone called my phone, and at the time, I had Mission Impossible as a ringtone. This dog goes... See, I can't do fences. Did you see that? That was pathetic.
I did see that.
Well, sometimes we stick to paths as well, I've noticed more. Like, if you go into a park and you've got the little fences about this big, I don't know why they're there, because you can easily step over them. But you get to a certain age and you think, shall I go over there to get to the other side? You think, no, I better stick to the path. And you walk...
That's true. That is true.
So, therefore, I feel old. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
I think I might be old from the fact that watching that has physically tired me. I feel slightly out of breath now.
Sean, got a little treat for you anyway. We'll sort this out for you. A little fence. So, do you reckon you could clear that fence?
What? This is genuinely dangerous. Have I got a horse?
Yeah.
I'm glad this is what it is, because when you first stood up and walked towards me, I thought you were going to give me a shoulder rub, because I sat like that.
Sean, you ready?
Got to do warm-up first, hang on. That one. That one.
Right, here we go, together, hang on. 3, 2, 1, go! I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you, Richard. I feel young again. Let's do some pills.
Winner of that round is Sean Walsh. Sean Walsh. The most elaborate lie that you've told and you've gotten away with. Who would like to go first?
I pretended I was a comedian once and got on this TV show.
You haven't got away with it. Al Murray.
Well, obviously, the most elaborate lie I can talk about on television that I've gotten away with was I was in York once. I did a show at York at Grand Opera House, and it was a lovely show. Afterwards, we went to a bar, and a bloke came over, and he said, "You're Al Murray, aren't you?" And I don't know why, but I went, "No." I'm not Al Murray, I'm not. And he said, "Well, who are you then? You look just like him." I said, "Yeah, I'm his twin brother." And he goes, "Oh, no, you're not. Don't be stupid." I said, "I am. I'm his twin brother. My name's James. Al's done a show." And so I thought I'd go see the show, and he's gone. And we've come to the bar to have a drink. And the thing is my hobby is playing the drums. So I said, I'm a musician, I play the drums. So he could ask me about that, and I could convincingly come back at him. And this went on for 2 hours. with this bloke, and he'd ask me what I was up to, and I'd say, I'm playing in this show, and I played on that album, and all this sort of thing, and had the whole thing going, and he completely believed me.
Boom.
And 2 hours later, it was time to go, and I said to him, actually, I'm mucking about, I really am Al Murray. And he went, no, you're not, I don't believe you.
Chris. Most of the elaborate lies I've told and got away with are still sort of in play now. So. But I got me and my girlfriend once were on my way back from France. We went to France on a little holiday on the train from St Pancras and stuff. We went to sit on our seat, and it was a table of 4, and we had the 2 window seats, so pinned in by 2 essentially farmyard animals. Just eating and babies and everything. So we moved down to the bottom of the train, and this guy and his daughter got on and said, that's our seat. And I really quickly went, oh, no, this isn't... did you not hear the announcement? The last train was cancelled, so the people who get on this train, it's 2 trains worth of people, so they said all of the reservations are void now.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah?
Oh,
and he went, but there was. I went, I know someone's in ours, sorry. And he sat down opposite, on the other thing, opposite the aisle. Some people came on and went, you're in our seat. And he went, oh, did you not hear the announcement? It continued.
Yeah.
Snake. Yeah.
You total snake.
Oh, sorry, James. Jesus.
Tim Key.
So, when we were little, me and my brother were just playing around by the river, and...
Your life is amazing.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine. It's completely the wrong response. We were just playing around, and we both had those, those fishing... I don't know if they still do them, but the fishing nets that's a cane and then a net.
Yeah.
Which you
can't
really do much with it. And so we were just...
Like, entry-level fishing.
Entry-level fishing, yeah. And so we were having, like, a bit of an entry-level fishing joust, and just in front of the river there. And then I started walking backwards, and he'd stopped jousting a while ago, and I was sort of going backwards, going like that. And I just walked into the river, walked backwards and just splashed into the river. And I think I was 7. And then my dad turned around, he was varnishing something. He turned around, hoiked me out of the river and started telling my brother off for pushing me in the river. At which point, and he was, there was various other adults sort of saying, I had, like, weed in my hair, which was kind of quite, it was, like, quite cute because I had weed in there. My brother getting told off, and I sort of looked at the situation and thought, this is fine. He pushed me in. Yeah. No. He jousted me. He jousted my chest. And so my brother then had to sit facing this, wall for the rest of the day in the sun, just facing this wall like that, and saying, I didn't push him in. And my dad saying, I don't want to hear it. Pushed him in, and he pushed you in, like me saying, absolutely push me in. And then this sort of went through to now.
And he's still sitting looking at that wall.
Was he still scarred by it?
My brother?
Yeah.
He's in prison.
Right.
Mine is... I went out with someone for a ex-girl for quite a while, and she didn't really like me drinking and didn't like having alcohol in the house. It's kind of cultural and religious reasons. And so I cut a deal where I was allowed to keep 1 bottle of red wine in my house in case my dad came round. OK, that was my deal.
1 big bottle.
Let's have 1 bottle of red wine. I kept it in the cupboard. Anyway, she's away working, and my mate Mark comes back to the house. We've been boozing all night. We get back at midnight, and when you bring your mate back to the house, you want some alcohol. Only bottle of wine in the house is that one for my dad. So I open it, we drink it, it's great. Next morning, he's gone. I come down, I've got to go to work. I'm in a hurry, I ain't got time to replace the bottle from the off licence. She's going to get home before me. So what I did is I turned on the tap and I put water into the wine bottle, because with the red wine, it's got like that green glass, and if you put water in it, it kind of looks all right. And I then trimmed the foil and made it look neat, and I pressed the cork back into the bottle, put it in the cupboard. Job done fine. She never says a thing. Fast forward a few weeks, we've got a dinner party, and I leave work, and I ring her at home, and I say, listen, can you bring a gift? And she walks through the door, and she's got in her hand a bottle of wine. And the guy who's hosting us is showing off about his wines all night, saying these are really expensive wines, it's vintage French wines. And he'd drink them, we're drinking them, we get through them all, right? It's now like 1 a.m, we're all pissed. And he goes, oh, God, we're out of wine, we're out of wine. And he went, hang on, you brought us a gift, you brought us some wine. Let's have your wine now. And then he went to the kitchen, I still don't make the connection, and he came out the kitchen and he got 2 glasses, and he got the bottle and he got the cork out, and he was pouring out the wine, and it was clearly see-through.
and it looked a bit strange. I sort of made the connection. He put it down, and he drank from it, and all of a sudden he shouted, "This is water!" Do you remember that at train stations when they used to have those boards that would flick round to tell you where you're going? It was like that in my brain. It went... And I went, oh, Mark came back to the house. She was like, alcohol, put water in there. She brought it here as a gift. Shit.
Surely... but you process that as... Shouldn't be.
So, this is where I continued the lie. I thought I'd just try and front it out. So I went, really? Oh, let me try it. So I got the glass. And I tasted it.
Fine.
And I went, no, I went, it certainly tastes like water.
It's certainly very weak.
So then he said to me, he said, mate, where did you get this from? Because you have been had. You need to go down there tomorrow and tell him you've been ripped off. And I went, yeah, thank you, thanks.
Fast forward to the
I'll do
next
that.
day, you and him are punching fuck out with some guy in a vineyard.
So that's my low. I need to pick Plumbers need to pick a winner from that.
It's got a bit of wine, man. Self-rich.
You lot are joking, aren't you? I fucking created a chain of lies on a train.
The stewards, we're going to give it a Chris, I think.
Oh, what about that? I tried out...
this is Plumbers for, isn't it? They give you an initial quote and then it changes.
From Matt Isaacs, a serving police officer from Bristol.
I'd just like to ask the panel, when was the last time you hid from someone?
Amir Khan.
Last time I hid from someone.
Before you answer that, Amir Khan is here. Britain's best boxer, fact.
Thank you. I mean, this time last week I was making weight for a fight, so I was in Vegas. So look where I am now. I'm in
Hammersmith. That's a real comment.
But yeah, last time I hid from someone, it has to be my mum. I mean, especially when she says, get your room cleaned, or I've done the ironing and put it in your drawer and stuff. And
do you still live with your mum?
What's happening? I tell you something funny. Sort of, I do. But we bought a house and we had loads of land there. I'm dead lazy. I don't cook or don't have to use a washing machine or anything. So I said, can't iron. So I said, why don't we build a house there, right in front of our house? And she's like, really? Do you want to do that?
And what you effectively did is move your mother in as a maid.
You're like a teenage boy. You're Britain's best boxer.
You know what? I've been spoiled from such a young age, and I mean, she's been great with me. So I think when she's looking for me around the house, man, I've got a nice little hiding spot.
Have you? Where is it?
Me. Well, where is it? When you walk in, I've got like a where you put all your videos, and I've got like it's one of them electric rooms or whatever. No one ever goes in there because it's kind of dangerous, but I mean, it's cool, so I don't know who's going to open that door, so I kind of sneak in there, just chill, read a magazine or something.
You hide in the cupboard while you keep your DVDs? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just about fit in it. Luckily, I am this weight, because if I was a bit bigger, I'd never fit in it.
So, Amir, you hide from your mum in a cupboard/den. Let's go over to Joe Slosh. When was the last time you hid from someone?
I'm still hiding. I'm hiding from my neighbour downstairs. Because I live on the top floor and I blocked my toilet about 3 weeks ago. And I've refused to not use it. I'm quite stubborn like that, so I've just laid layers upon layers upon layers.
Let me just be clear what you're saying. You've blocked the toilet in your flat.
Yeah.
Is that now leaking into your neighbour's flat who lives below you?
I took the pipe off and then all the toilet leaked down into the communal hall. So, with all the water, came everything that I've been saving up for 3 weeks. And they still ain't caught me, because they go out early in the morning and come back late, so I live my life around the timetable. So they can't
OK, thank you, Joe. Mine, it was here at this TV studio, and this is a studio where they filmed The Apprentice, You're Fired. And it was when Adrian Charles was presenting it, and I was down here working on something else, and I walked into the studio, and there was a guy on the panel who was a close friend of my ex-girlfriend, and we recently split up, and he'd kind of taken her side. And he'd, like, ignored my calls and texts, and I saw him and thought, oh, God, this is awkward. So I texted my new girlfriend, and she knew about the problem, and this is a text I sent. I wrote, oh, shit, such and such is here. This is bloody awkward. He's been such a baby lately. I'm going to hide from him. And then instead of sending it to my girlfriend, I sent it to him. know, because you've got their name in your head and you're going through your contacts. So I'm standing there and he's on the stage. I'm looking at him and thinking, well, he's probably got a while there on the stage talking to Adrian Chiles. What can I do about this? So I thought, I know, what I could do is find his dressing room. So I did. It's the one that you've got tonight, Holly. And I went in there and I rummaged through his stuff and I found his phone and I deleted the text. What does it say? It says, running a bit late, I'm stuck in studio with that prick, Richard Bacon. Speak later, I'm here.
Damn, I must have
said
sent you. I must have done it by accident.
If I find out that was you, I'm going to knock your spark out.
Tell me, it wasn't me, honestly.
Holly, when have you hidden from somebody?
I do it quite regularly. What I do is I get quite drunk with my friends in a house, and then we all turn the lights out. This isn't going where you think it's going.
Hoping.
We all play hide and seek. Like, loads of people in their 20s and 30s play hide and seek. And it is incredible how competitive you get when it doesn't matter and you are absolutely pissed. And the thing is, whoever plays the seeker has to act like they're a psychopath.
What does that mean? They have to show no empathy.
There's loads of ways of doing it. You either, like, do a lot of deep breathing, or you do a lot of sort of, like, I'm coming to get you. Or you just sort of say nursery rhymes really slowly in a kind of creepy way, just to really freak them out.
That sounds bloody brilliant.
It's amazing.
I don't know, I feel silly, because this question kind of plays to my own issues of self-worth, which these boys clearly, and Reg, like, just obviously do not have. It's a thing that troubles me. I just wondered, is there anything, particularly Reg, which you can't do, which everyone else seems to be able to do with ease?
Sure.
What you got, Reg?
Cleaning.
It's different from can't.
No, it's just like my family or my friends just like they pick up stuff and it's like they'll look at something and it's clearly messed up and it's like they should clean it up. And I'll be looking at it too, but I'll be thinking about something completely different. In fact, it's like it'll be a mess, and then it's one of the reasons why I think dating is good, because it's like it's only when I know someone's coming around, it's like, this place is fucked up. How did it get like this? And it's like I'll start running around, but just some people have like my last girlfriend, it's like she couldn't relax. She just had to that's out of place, and that's that, and I'm missing that, and so I don't have that instinct to just constantly clean as I go. I have to do like a big clean off at some point when it's just, so I wish I could be like other people like that.
Okay. Russell?
I'm massive clean as you go, man. Sorry, just in response to... I'll make a meal, then put it in the oven so it keeps hot and do all my washing up, everything first before I eat anything.
Will you?
Yeah. But what I mean is, when you finish a meal, you're like, oh, it's brilliant. Then you just look at the side and you're like, oh, no. And if you do that beforehand, straight into movie club or rumpy pumpy or whatever you've got planned.
What's the thing, though, that you can't do that everyone else seems to be able to do with these?
Again, all comes from my dad. He's so driven by the physical and DIY and fixing his car. I think he's retarded that part of my brain from growing. It just didn't develop. I'm using that word generally. I can try with calm. I'll organise all the DIY bits out in their little groups, look at them like that within 10 minutes. I'm not a violent person, I am not. But one cupboard from IKEA, that kept the fire going the whole winter. We had an open fire inside. I just took it out into the garden and smashed it up with a hammer. It took me longer to destroy it with a hammer because I couldn't put it together. I can't do anything on the car. My dad can look at a shelf and put it up. Get up, slag! No, it's just like, it's straight up like that. Yeah.
So what happens now if there's a bit of DIY that needs doing in your house? What do you do?
I literally will just get ripped off. I'll have to go, oh, there's a screw needs putting in the wall, and someone come around and go, I do it for you, and then it's... Scotland, obviously. And,
But you're probably better off getting someone else to do it anyway, aren't you? Because you could be out working. So if you fix it yourself, right? The amount it costs you to pay someone to do those jobs, you could earn more than that by being out working anyway.
Agreed, but just on the OK, so but I get a drinks from a garage, hot drink, I go put it in the drinks holder, I'll miss it by a millimetre, coffee on the knob. Hire someone, would you place my coffee down for me? My helmet is precious. It's just not going to work.
Charles Corrin, what can't you do then? It's your question, what can't you do?
Oh, man, this makes me so... Because they're so lucky that those are things. Those are small things. Those are domestic things you can't clean.
Do you have a lot of things?
Well, no, I can't do... I can clean, I can put up some shelves, I can dust things. I can't dance. I can't go out and have fun. I've never had fun, 41 fucking years. I've really never had... No, but look, I've never had a nice time. Do you know, I've gone out, I went to my 18th birthday party with a plaster cast on my leg so that people would think I had a broken shin. so I wouldn't have to dance. And you go out and you get to a nightclub, and I go, don't worry, I'll mind the coats. They go, no, it's fine, no one's going to nick anything, there's no one else here. No, you never know. I'll just keep an eye. Can I get anyone a drink? I literally, and anybody, you know, you said to someone, how was last night? Did you have a good time? Oh, fucking great time, cracking. How about you? I realised I've never had a good time, because if you didn't dance, obviously for most people, the evening was bollocks.
Thank you very much, Giles. My thing I can't do that everyone else can do is go on stag do's. I hate stag do's, and I'm prejudging stag do's because I've never been on a stag do.
None of your friends have gotten married?
No, they have. I just turned down the invites.
How can you not have been on one?
Because I don't want to go on them. I have no interest in going to Tallinn with my mate's brother-in-law and his friend Colin from the office.
I went to Tallinn in Estonia.
Yeah.
On a stag do. And it was fucking brilliant.
Yeah. I was there, they never found a body, did they, mate?
No.
Everything that you thought was brilliant about that will be everything I hate.
Really?
Yeah. There is that sort of mission statement where you go out to get as hammered as you possibly can.
I'm with you on that.
All that thing of putting a load of money into a kitty for Fat Rob to manage, who's got antlers on his head and thinks it's funny to walk through it. Exactly. I don't think it's funny when the groom gets handcuffed naked.
I'm sorry, that's funny. I think it's funny when the groom gets handcuffed naked with a goat mask on him. Yeah. Is it different in the States, Reg? Is there any difference between American stag nights and British stag nights?
We don't really have stag nights.
Bachelor parties, right?
I'm kind of like white dudes with money. We have more like, oops, she pregnant parties.
I'd like to ask the panel, when was the last time you were conned?
Thank you very much for that, Sonny. Very good question. When was the last time you were conned? Rob Beckett.
Oh, yeah. Conned, South Bank, I reckon, 2010. Bratwurst. Have you ever been to Bratwurst before?
Yeah.
In Germany?
Yes.
It's like a massive long sausage.
Right.
And a tiny little bun, right? I went to South Bank for Christmas markets, right? They got it, they was doing Bratwurst, snapped it in half, popped it in a tiny bun, charged £5.
Yeah. What made me think of the whole thing that charge you 10?
A sausage for a tenner?
Well,
How mad would you have to be?
Jenny.
No, because in Germany, they're like €3, and you get a massive long sausage.
He's furious.
And there's...
I love those sausages. They're very rubbery against your teeth, aren't they? They make that lovely squeaky noise.
Well, I didn't have the chance to find out the South Bank one. It was gone before I even started. It was tiny. But yeah, they double price, half sausage. Not happy.
Did it spoil Christmas?
It did. It did a bit. Yeah.
There's not a day that goes by that you don't think about that half a bratwurst.
No, whenever I see, especially if I see Germany on the news.
That's what it's most famous for, isn't it?
If like Merkel, sausage. That's how it works.
Is that it there? Is that one of them there?
That's not a bratwurst.
Right, OK.
That's pepperoni.
Where's that from?
I don't know.
It's been around for a bit by the look of it.
I don't buy my own props, Rob. Don't you? How short was it? Snap it in half.
Right, I'll show you. Basically, a bratwurst is probably about that long, but thicker, right? In a bun, probably about half the size. They got it like that. They was like cooking them like that. Then he went, I'll have a bratwurst. He went, all right. There you go.
You've really suffered, mate.
Well, yeah, that's how I got conned last.
Right, well done. Thank you very much. Jenny or Claire?
Well, I'm quite gullible, stroke stupid, and a number of years ago, I got picked up quite regularly by this lady cab driver. She picked me up and we got chatting. She was a con artist, and they're very clever. The good ones are really good. And she told me how she really wanted a baby and all this sort of stuff. And honestly, within a month, I had lent her £500 for IVF.
Wow.
I know. What? Can you imagine? And I'm quite a bright woman. And I genuinely thought, this is absolutely true.
It puts his bratwurst into some sort of perspective, I think.
In the year, she would come round to my house with a babe in arms, preferably call it after me, something like that, something, you know, show her gratitude, and I'd get the money back. Anyway, I never saw her again, obviously, till about 3 years later. I was down the Oval Tube. I was standing on the platform, and she was there. And, you know, she looked panic-stricken, as you would when you owe someone £500 and you're on a tube platform, because just a little nudge, she could have gone over. Could have gone under.
Was she carrying a baby?
There was no baby. I was like, where's the baby? Where's my baby? I want my baby. I thought I could have it on a timeshare or something.
Yeah. How long does one need to extract £500 from you?
Oh, it was a period of journeys, though, was it?
It was that there were a few journeys where she'd laid down the threads of the tail, and I'd got more and more sympathetic, and then she just went in for the sting. Yeah. And, you know, her boyfriend was in jail, blah, blah, sob story, you know, so he couldn't afford the IVF, and wouldn't it be a nice surprise when he got out of prison if there was a baby? I'm not really, you know... I hadn't really thought this through, had I?
We have a range of cab drivers here.
I couldn't have guessed.
We have Chris, Lee, Rupert and Stefano. Nice to see you, lads. And we have a little bit of footage of you in action. There you are. I don't know what I imagined this would look like. But that's you at work. Just your thoughts on that story?
Well, the first thing, minicab, that's where you went wrong to start with. Black cabs. You know, you won't get conned then.
No problem. We'll only charge you £600.
Yeah. All right, nice one. Thank you, Jenny. Mark Watson, when have you been conned?
I was about 4 years ago in Australia, looking through my email, and I was don't know how to put this really, drunk. So and there was one of these emails which nowadays everyone knows about, but this was still quite a new thing. It's one of these emails that says, "Hi there. You've never heard of me, but I would like most of your bank details." It wasn't one of these really obvious ones where it's like, I'm a Nigerian prince and I need 1.2 million. Like, it was, you know... I have had ones. I had one like that even this week. It said, it started, "My dear, dear friend." And I thought, I don't... There's very few people I would call a dear, dear friend. I think I'd remember if one of them was a prince, in all fairness. But, so I'm not totally stupid, but this one was one of these ones that are quite well done. It had my real bank's logo, and it purported to be from the bank, and it said, "We're your bank, we need to check your details." It's the sort of thing which, as I say, if you were in your right mind, you would probably still be suspicious, but I was sort of not quite. So I replied saying, "Hi, thanks for checking up on my password, here it is." And, but of course, your bank wouldn't just send you an email like that. And it wouldn't say from a blagger either. But basically, a couple of weeks later, I couldn't get money out of the cash machine because I didn't have any anymore. But so I had this sort of humiliating phone call from Australia. Well, I had to ring and say, "Look, I'm abroad. I tried to take it out. It was just like 30 quid. Why can't I have my blah blah blah?" And the woman was, as if talking to a 6-year-old, was saying, "It's because you don't have any. You haven't got any money." I was going, "I definitely do." She said, "No, you definitely don't." I said, "There should be about 7,000 quid in there." She said. There was a pause. She said, "There's just been a withdrawal from 7,000 quid. It was from a bank in East Africa." I thought, that's difficult for me to swallow, because I'm in Australia, and I was drunk, but I don't think I went over to Africa until...
£7,000? This is another proper con.
This was all I had in the account. All gone, yeah. It was a proper... Well, it was a proper con, but it's so feeble, really. Having said that, I feel better now. I thought this was the most stupid thing anyone's ever done, but she gave money for a pretend baby. And Beckett trusted someone to give him a sausage which was nowhere near full size. So ever since then, basically, I've been plagued by security fraud, and I have to sort of change my details every 3 days or so. But my password at the moment is bacon.
Yeah.
In case anyone...
That's great. £7,000, 500 quid. You must be slightly regretting opening up with that sausage.
Well, I didn't know. I didn't know how to level it. Do you know what I mean? If I'd gone after the £7,000 and the 500 quid, I might have, I don't know, made up something.
We have some tweets from the audience. Thank you very much from our club members on this topic. When was the last time you were conned? Ryan083, who says, "Last time I was conned, today, I thought I was going to see Total Wipeout." Cab drivers. Lee, let me ask you, who do you think won that round?
It's got to be Jenny.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner is Jenny Eclair!
What's the worst injury you've inflicted upon someone?
Oh, I can see why you'd say this question. What's yours?
Oh, mine? I've done a few things. One of them was I was in a fight against a guy called Willie Lemond. He was from Scotland, and he was the first guy to put me down in a fight. And when I got back up, I broke his jaw, perforated his ear. And
yeah, I reckon your story is going to top ours. I'm just going to guess it. Holly Walsh.
When I was 8, I accidentally karate kicked my brother in the head, and he went to hospital. That's it.
Is it?
Yeah.
He's impressed.
Yeah, I was 8.
Yeah.
I was 8. I mean, you were 17 when you did that. I was 8.
Yeah. Joe Swash, what about yours?
I'm not a violent person. I don't like violence, but I shot my sister once with a... Yeah, I shot my sister with a dart from a pellet gun when I was younger, and I was so scared that my mum was going to beat me up that I locked my sister in my room until she stopped crying. It took about an hour, and I blackmailed her, and I got away with it. So I got away with shooting someone.
So you shot her in the face and then locked her in a room?
No, not in the face. I didn't shoot in the face.
Where? I'm not an animal.
It was in the neck.
It was in the neck, right. Rugby lads, I might as well just ask you the same question, hadn't I? Rogan, what's the worst injury you've inflicted on someone?
Again, it's not particularly something I'm proud of, but a few years ago, quite a few years ago now, I was playing a game and I was at the bottom of a ruck and someone was on top of me and wouldn't get off me, and I was having trouble breathing and flailing around a bit, and I kind of reached up and just grabbed something soft and sort of... and I gave it a twist.
Wow.
And, you know, he got off, which was great. And then I sort of got off and walked away and then turned around and he kind of was folded over and in tears. And then I later found out that he had to go to hospital to have that particular problem looked at.
And what was the outcome?
I think he twisted it around. I think I twisted it around.
He twisted it around. I love that.
Yeah.
He twisted it.
So you twisted a man's scrotum?
Yeah.
My physio told me a story. He used to work for like professional rugby, and apparently, if you get punched in the balls or whatever, the thing that physios have to do is they have to sort of cup them and lift them. That's like the physio move if you get hurt, if your balls get hurt, right? Cup them and lift them. So there was a woman who'd just been trained up and she was like on a sort of placement with this rugby club, and this guy, he gets the worst injury, he falls to the floor, he's like, like lying on the floor. So she thought, this is her moment, she runs on, she kneels down, she cups and she lifts, and she's like, is that all right? And he's like, yeah, my balls feel great, but my elbow is fucked.
What a charming selection of stories they were. You twisted someone's scrotum and potentially left them childless. You shot your sister in the neck. You karate kicked your brother. And you broke an opponent's jaw.
You're the only person who got paid for any of this.
Yeah. You're the only one who did it in a professional capacity. Yeah. I think I know who should win that round. I think there's only one person we can really endorse at the end of that round. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner, Amir Khan. What would you like to talk about next?
What is the most interesting thing about your dad?
OK, good question. Rob Beckett.
My dad punched a goat in the face once.
Boom, straight in there.
Bang.
Can we move on? I can't tell us any more.
It was self-defence.
It was self-defence?
Yeah, big time.
How was it self-defence?
It wasn't one of those nice ones either. It was an horrible great thing. Was that a petting zoo? Right.
So a goat had started on him in the pub.
No, not in the pub. It's not...
How's it self-defence?
In a petting zoo.
It was in a petting zoo, right, in Christmas Tree Farm, right? And I was in there, and we had, before you feed the animals, it was with my niece and nephew, and this goat was, like, going at us, right, and he knocked my nephew to the floor, and he, like, squared up to my dad.
How does a goat square up?
They get on the back legs and go like that, you can tell. You know when there's just an atmosphere, someone's going to have a go in a minute? Yeah. And he butted my dad, like, on the chest, and my dad just sort of hit him in the face.
This is your dad here?
There it is, Super Dave.
Yeah.
Super Dave.
I actually fancy your dad.
You fancy
I do. He's a bit like a sort of aggressive Father Christmas, isn't he?
Yeah.
And I like that. I like that in a man.
Kenny Rogers loses it.
Jenny or Claire?
Oh, mine isn't so funny, but my father was a spy, and that's true. He was a Cold War spy. He wasn't actually meant to be, but he was sort of meant to be in charge of the spies and telling them what to do, but he kind of joined in because he thought it was quite a good laugh. That's kind of my dad's thing, you know, and he was caught. He wasn't very good. I don't think most men are very good at spying, actually. They really haven't got the snooping gene like women have. You know, most men are terrified of looking in a woman's handbag. I don't know why they ask them to be spies in the first place. It's a woman's job.
We're racking up good dad facts here. Mark Watson, yours?
I need something big to win this round.
Come on.
My dad was once spying and he punched a cow in the face.
But was it self-defence?
No, it wasn't even self-defence. He literally got out of a car, looked for a cow in the field and smacked it for no reason.
My own dad, he got held hostage in his office once by a man with a gun. He's a solicitor. Yeah, a man turned up with a gun.
And my dad tried to wrestle the gun off him really ineptly. Sort of grabbed the barrel of the rifle and bloke said, "What are you doing?" Took it back off him. And so my dad, this guy was also a bit stupid, because my dad then just rang the police, but told the gunman he was ringing another client. And the gunman went, OK. And I rang the police, and the police would say things to him, "Right, has the man got the gun on him now?" And my dad would say, "Yes, your divorce will be finalised on Tuesday." And then eventually got the man to go outside the office, I don't know how, because he wasn't bright, and all these police just descended from nowhere and wrestled this bloke to the ground. It was quite exciting. And I was like 10. It was the coolest thing that ever happened. Right, some excellent... They were good stories. We have some tweets as well. Thank you very much for taking part. Most interesting fact about your dad. This is Ursa Majors 9. My dad's a vicar who once went on the Channel 4 quiz show 15 to 1. When he was eliminated, he clearly mouthed the phrase, "For fuck's sake." Lads, who's got the best dad? Who won that round?
Jenny.
Jenny Clare, ladies and gentlemen. What is the most ridiculous thing, the stupidest thing that you have done whilst drunk? Andrew Maxwell.
All the stupid stuff that actually harmed me rather than harm other people. I tried to do a backflip off a wall in jack boots and a cape. And I attempted it 5 times back to back. And I only ever got, like, sort of up to there on the wall and then collapsed down because it involves skill. It's not one of those things, it's not something you can just do with gusto and still come out with pass marks. It's not cunnilingus.
No, it's not. It's not that.
What? You know what I'm talking about, ladies. It's mostly enthusiasm. That's what it is. You're showing how enthusiastic you are about the young lady in question. Or older lady if you're into panthers. Did you know... Yeah, did you know that? There's one up from...
Cougars?
Cougars, yeah. It's called a panther, yeah. Panther's the next one up.
Where'd you get that from?
There's a whole pecking order.
So what's the age bracket of a cougar and the age bracket of a panther?
Well, your cougar is 35 to 45, and then 45 to the grave is it... Sir, I'm not... Hey, hand to God, would I lie to you, Tony? That's a panther.
Stephen K. Amos.
I was very drunk. I was going to a party. You know that thing that Brits do? We drink in our house before we go to a party.
Yeah.
Like there's not going to be any booze there.
Yeah.
Anyway, my friend... Exactly. What's all that about? And I don't know if anyone's ever done this, where the top half of your body is so heavy that it falls over.
Yeah.
So I was running and I fell over, didn't get up. I proceeded to go to the tube station on all fours. Some bloke tried to give me a hand. I gave him £1, going, "Get away, homeless man." I eventually got to the tube station. I don't know how I got home, but I got to my front door and my key suddenly turned into an elastic band. I went like that, and I've got a green hedge by my front door. I went like that, went backwards, and there I stayed until the morning.
No, that's good.
In fact, till this day, there is an outline of a man in my hedge. Me.
Alex, you have been in Blur. I mean, fucking hell.
So was I that night.
I mean, when you thinking back to the early 90s, signing a record deal is a bit like getting on a transatlantic flight. You know, there's somebody coming around with a trolley of drinks all the time.
Yeah.
The great thing about being drunk is that it sort of gives you the feeling that you're doing stupid things because you're drunk. But I sobered up for a while when I got married and I realised I was just stupid.
Yeah.
I wasn't drunk.
Am I right thinking that you drank a bottle of champagne a day?
3 a day.
3 bottles of champagne a day?
Yeah.
You couldn't do that with rosé, for example.
Oh, no, not rosé. What is rosé? Pick a team. What are you? Are you red wine? Are you white wine? What are you fruity fruit drink? Pick a team. I don't like any wine that needs to be put over ice before it's acceptable.
I know.
And a rosé hangover is murder.
It is
murder. It is brutal.
Alex, come on.
Yeah.
You're
What,
a
one
rock god.
anecdote of when
Come on.
something happened when you were really messed
Off your
up.
face, you must have done something.
We didn't get banned from that many places, but I was having a really nice time at the Savoy one evening, and I wanted to play the piano as, you know, as a drinking gentleman might do, and they wouldn't open it. And I had it, and they were being very nice, saying, please don't do that to piano, Mr. James. They were calling me Mr. James, which is always nice. But I ripped open the lid of the piano and played Blue Moon.
And so you broke the lock on it.
It does annoy me when they lock pianos away from drunken people.
It's unnecessary, isn't it?
Drunken shenanigans, right? We've all been there. It's wonderful. It's a release for us, you know? And I think British and Irish people are, you know, just naturally a bit more rowdy than, you know, you've toured around Europe. Like, anywhere north of the Alps, they're cheeseheads, they're squareheads. Like, they will literally stop and wait to cross the road when there's nothing about. You mean, what are rules for except to be observed and enjoyed? Like, there's no crap. That said, the stupidest thing I've ever done, and it genuinely is, I'm a snowboarder as well, and the most dangerous thing you can do in the Alps is get drunk and bin bag. Right?
Okay.
It's where you come down, right? You're almost at the bottom of the mountain, and you go for one last après drink. It can be as little as 200 metres before you actually hit the town. You climb into a bin bag. There's a black sack, and you go down the hill, and it goes faster than Jesus off. Jesus. I don't know what that's
200 metres down on quite a steep slope.
Yeah, you're literally rubbish in a bag going down the hill. People break it. Seriously.
How do you stop? Because
You
on
can't.
skis and
You can't. It's the natural attrition of the mountain against your bones.
I think you're drunk though. That in a way cushions you against. You don't feel as much pain, do you? So you
don't.
go down.
But then the next day, yes.
Yeah.
Or even later, because bone injuries don't take long to remind you.
No.
Like, hey, I was a bone. Now I'm two bones. Explain yourself, nervous system.
Mine is I presented a live television show, completely drunk. I mean, completely drunk. And I've been out to lunch with television's Tess Daly. And a TV... Yeah, right, a little game show with Tess Daly. How about that? Talking about a new TV show, and it's lunchtime, it's Christmas, and I just got really pissed, and I'm drinking loads of red wine, and I'm in such a terrible state. And they're embarrassed by me. It's just a lunch meeting, and they're just embarrassed. Now, what's wrong with him? Because he's got some sort of problem. So it's a long lunch. At the end of it, they bundled me into a car, and they said, what are you doing now? You going home to bed? And I said, no, I'm going to present a live television programme. And I think that, he's delusional. He's delusional. Leave him to it. And I go to the studio, and I'm presenting a show that I'm kind of in charge of, because me and a couple of other guys came up with this idea, and it's called Flipside, and it's on a small little channel. And the idea is there's one presenter and 3 guests, and they're looking like I'm drunk now. Look at this.
Are you talking about this evening?
Yeah. I had lunch with Tess today. It's today. I get there and they try and stop me going on air, but because I'm the executive producer, I demand to be put on air. So I'm the presenter. I get there 10 minutes after it started. It's live. There's 3 guests, so they have to get one of the other guests to present the first 10 minutes. I get into a terrible state and completely disruptive. At one point, I go to the loo, not in an ad break. I need to pick a winner from that round from those stories. Falling in a hedge. No. Breaking the piano key lock at the Savoy. Bin bagging. Presenting a TV show drunk. The winner of that round, ladies and gentlemen, is Andrew Maxwell.
What is the most inappropriate thing you've said or done?
Rufus, the most inappropriate thing that you've said?
I say inappropriate things all the time because I'm somebody who, if I feel that we're getting along, then part of being a man and having a friend who's a man is the banter backwards and forwards. So men, when they like each other, say, you big fat wanker. Right, that's standard, that's entry level. So the moment that I have met somebody for about 6 minutes and I think we're getting on all right, I will make a deeply inappropriate joke about them. All right, Macca, so you bought Jake the Peg. You know, whatever it is. But like, so I say inappropriate things all the time like that, and then I realise that the other person doesn't think that we're as close of friends as I've then made the association, and then it gets awkward.
What I think is bizarre about men meeting each other, and you say you big fat wanker or whatever, so when men see each other in the street or a car, they don't go like that, do they? If they know each other well enough, they go, hey! What's that about? It's pathetic, isn't it? Men are really quite pathetic, aren't they?
Particularly when he's not your mate and you've mistaken it for someone else. You go, hey! God, not you.
That's not...
Oh, it's not Tom.
Oh no, I'll give you worse than that. Genuinely, in a pub, I went for a wee, came back, and unexpectedly my mate Jim had turned up. And Charlie, if you would mind standing up, because he's definitely Jim, isn't it? Yeah. It's definitely Jim. I walked in, there he is. He hasn't clocked me. Little one of these.
All right, treacle. One of them. So, I kid you not, on the tits, one on the tit, one on the crotch, and then a very, very awkward conversation immediately
But what's yours? You're most inappropriate.
Mine's just like laughing at something I shouldn't have laughed at. We're sitting on St Ives Harbour, and there's an old woman next to me, and then with her husband, and I'm with my wife and son, and we're all having an ice cream, and big seagull. And we've chatted to the woman a bit. Big seagull comes down, nicks the woman's ice cream, and she's like, "Oh!" It was like horrific, you know, massive. Have you seen this? They're massive. Seagulls, nick this woman's ice cream, and then shat on her head. Right? It was like a double whammy. Of like, always nick your ice cream, he shat on your head. Just one would have been funny, but both together. I couldn't. About an hour afterwards, still laughing. That woman! Poor...
I fail to see what's funny about this.
Poor woman. The reason it's I'm fully aware of its inappropriateness. That's a word. It's new. Deal with it. But it was possibly the funniest thing I've ever seen that I should not... You know, when you're at school and your friend's done something brilliant, like, I don't know, stapled something to the teacher and they don't know, or something like that, and you are crying with laughter. It was that sort of laughter. You never laugh like that, like you did at school, ever again in your whole life, until you see an old woman having her ice cream stolen,
the last
and
few
then
ice creams.
it's pooed on her head.
Mine's, well, sort of similar in that it involves giggling and an old woman, but the old woman in my story is dead. Prince Charles caught me laughing at the Queen Mother's funeral.
Oh, good one. Good one. This is good.
That, didn't you?
It
was 10 years ago! It was the Queen Mother's funeral, and my friend and I were watching it on telly at home in Chiswick in West London. And the motorcade, the cortege leaves, and I realised, hang on, this is like going to come past my house. So I said to my mate, well, you know, we might as well go and watch this. So we went and stood there, and all of a sudden it turns a corner, and I can't believe it. It's coming towards us, and you can see the outriders, then you can just see the hearse and the Queen Mother's coffin. It's driving really slowly. And my friend, Dan, says, why don't you take a picture of me? So I said, all right. I got my camera, and he stood in front of the entire cortege, and I raised the camera up to my eye, and all of a sudden he went like this. And there's only thing you can do is laugh. Yeah. Right? I'm laughing at him, right? I'm laughing at him. And I laugh so hard I can't even press the button to take the picture. And I collapse laughing, and I stand at the side, and I'm like this, and I'm laughing. I thought I was laughing for ages. Ages. I looked up, there was Prince Charles right there, going past in the car behind, looking right at me. And you know how you can sometimes turn a laugh into a pretend cry. Let's pick a winner. Who's won that? I mean, my story.
I think your story is pretty good.
Oh no, your story had it all.
Yeah, had everything.
It got booed.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean people didn't enjoy it. That just meant they felt guilty enough to pretend they weren't enjoying it.
In that case, I am the winner of the
My topic is, what's the most embarrassing celebrity encounter you have ever had?
Charlie, why don't we start with...
I once did a charity thing, and in the audience was Brian May from Queen. Afterwards, after we'd all done a thing and was like shaking hands and well done, and we were like, oh, brilliant, this is Brian May. And I got talking to Brian May, right? And I was like, this is brilliant. I'm having a chat to Brian May. This is a marvellous turn of events. So I got my mum, and she'd had a few glasses of wine, probably a bottle by this point. And she came over, and I said, oh, Brian, this is my mum, Carol. Mum, this is Brian May from Queen. And she went, oh, Queen. Wasn't it a shame when Freddie Mercury died? And he looked at my mum and went, yeah. Of course it's sad. His main source of income's disappeared. You know.
Imagine if you said it
It's
wasn't.
like, I don't know, 5 Live going out of business, Richard. I mean, what, you'd be fucked, to be honest.
What about if 5 Live and ITV4 went down at the same time?
Oh, it'd be like a nightmare.
Danny Wallace.
Yes.
Yes, your most embarrassing celebrity encounter.
I moved house recently, and it became very apparent very quickly that I must have moved very, very close indeed to TV's Sue Pollard. Because suddenly I would see Sue Pollard everywhere I went. I'd see Sue Pollard, the newsagent. I'd see her walking down the street. She's an icon of mine. Growing up, it was all about Sue Pollard and Heidi High and You Rang My Lord, all that kind of stuff. And if I could have told the 1980s me that one day I'd be walking around London all footloose and fancy-free, bumping into Sue Pollard left, right and centre, my head would have exploded. So I wanted to talk to her one day. And one day I was in the newsagent at the end of the road. And she was in there, in sort of leopard skin and all that kind of stuff, dressed up as Sue Pollard, which I think she does every day, which is part of the contract she signed with herself when she did it. And she was just finishing telling an old man that she was going to be on the Paul O'Grady pretty soon, which is weird because he had definitely not asked that. But she said that anyway. And then she turned around and she saw that I was carrying a tabloid newspaper and a broadsheet. And she sort of smiled at me and she went, oh, you like a bit of rubbish with the news? And we both chuckled. And I wanted to say something, but that was it. She was gone, a whirlwind, and that was it. And she walked down the street and she was waving at people and this and that, and everyone seemed to know her. And I thought, I want to know her. And so I was catching up, I was gaining on Sue Pollard. And I'm getting there, I'm thinking, what will I say? What will I say if I do? And at that moment, I look up and she's bent down near a tree. And she's just there, she's bent down. So now I'm nearly upon her. And I think, well this is it. And as I sort of lose my nerve and I round Sue Pollard, and she looks up at me, and Sue Pollard is picking up a penny, right, off the ground. Now, I don't know, it might just be a habit or something like that, you know. I do it as well, lucky pennies, that kind of thing. And she saw me, and we locked eyes, and she knew that I'd seen that she was picking up this penny. And she said, find a penny, pick it up, and all that day you'll have good luck. And then, out of instinct, I just instantly said, give that penny to a friend, and then your luck will never end. And Sue Pollard looked at the penny, and she looked at me, and she begrudgingly shuffled over and gave it to me and said, I didn't know it ended like that. So I essentially robbed Sue Pollard
You did that.
the first time I ever met
That's
her.
good. My most embarrassing celebrity story involves a more elderly member of the Coronation Street cast.
Oh.
I used to be a Blue Peter presenter, Danny. And, yeah, we won an award at the National TV Awards one night, and we went back to a hotel in Kensington. Bit of a party, you know, big fun party. And towards the end of the party, the more elderly member, female member of the Coronation Street cast said to me, hey, the party's going to carry on in my bedroom. Why don't you come up with me? Now, I was only 21. I was quite naive. I didn't realise that was a metaphor for something. I thought, oh, literally, the party is carrying on. A bit weird, but the party's carrying on specifically in her bedroom. And so we got in the lift together. Now, it was just sort of me and her in the lift. And then she opened her bedroom door, put the card thing in, opened it. There's no one else in there. And I thought, well, you know, surely some other people are going to turn up in a minute. And then she started to take her clothes off. And I'm really naive. And she gets down to her underwear. And I just think, well, probably what she's doing is she's changing into another outfit for this second phase of the party.
Dinner party dress?
Well, no, that's a ping, the bra came off onto the floor, knickers off, down. She's now, this more elderly member of the Coronation Street cast.
Who was it?
Now,
was it Alf Roberts?
now she's naked, and even the young 21-year-old me realises, OK, something's going on here. And then she lay on the bed and she said something like, come on in, the water's lovely.
No.
Now, that water didn't look... No. It looked like it needed changing, if anything.
I can't swim. I can't swim.
So I'm standing there like the bloke out of, you know, The Graduate.
This sounds a dreadful story.
Yeah, isn't it? It's truly embarrassing. And she's there, her legs were open. I'm thinking, right, what the fuck do I do now? And then she put her head on the pillow and she went...
Could have still shagged her if you wanted to. It's okay.
Mickey, your most embarrassing celebrity encounter?
The first time I ever met a real celebrity, I was in a pub in the East End of London, which is where I'm from, you might not have noticed. And in came, this was about 1978, 79, Bob Hoskins came in with a cab driver who used to drink in there. And I think Bob had said to him, take me to a proper East End boozer for research reasons. because he wanted to know how to act like an arsehole. But I think he was researching the Long Good Friday.
Yeah.
You know, this was
It's a great film.
So he came in, and we were. This was a proper pub full of faces and gangsters, and you know. And I sort of recognised him. But anyway, he stood there for quite a while, taking drinks off of people. But I don't think he knew that you have to get one yourself.
Oh.
Which is, you know. And I went over and said, listen, mate, I don't know who the fuck you are. But you've been taking drinks off everyone. If you don't get a drink in, I think you're going to get a clump or something. You know what I mean?
A what?
Clump.
What's that? What's that?
Have you ever been out of the house? It's when someone just gets that, not proper dick, just like a little, like, get a drink in.
Just an East End term for slap is a club.
It's not a full-on kicking.
No, OK. I think the most charming story, personally, the nicest story, and thus the winner of that round, was Danny Wallace!
Danny Wallace!
Sean Walsh, what would you like to talk about? I wanted to ask the guys and yourself about what your worst injury is.
OK, Rufus Hound, your worst injury?
Beer and pizza are the fundamentals of who we are as men. And inevitably, the call to beer and pizza is one that we cannot resist. That comes from our teenage years. Yeah. So it was one fateful evening in Farnham, having enjoyed all of the beer in the house and a few slices of pizza, that I decided to bust out my party trick. The party trick is very simply, you take some lighter fluid and you get a pool like that in your hand, a little bit of lighter fluid there, and you set light to the lighter fluid. Now, what happens is that the lighter fluid, being very burny, burns, but it takes quite a long time for that liquid to burn off and it to burn your hand.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you can let it burn for a few seconds, then you take the other hand and you do that and it extinguishes the flame.
Oh, that's
right?
good.
Yeah, it's great. Works every time. You can do it as many times as you like, no problem. Unless what you decide is to each time really kick it up a notch. Because people have seen it once, how are you going to better it? So the pool starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and each time, bang, it's out. People are like, you've got to show my mate Jim. Jim! Jim, got to see this! Got to see this, right? I decide, how do we really fire this bad boy up? I'll tell you how. 2 hands, right? So 2 hands and a pool of lighter fluid on the inside that's literally 1.5 inches deep. Mark put the lighter fluid in the hands and I went, right, now light it. And it was at this point Mark chickened out. So I've now got the lighter fluid in my hands. I'm saying, just light it. And he's like, no, I really don't want to. At which point my mate Steve goes, oh, well, I'll light it. I'm like, OK, you light it. And then Mark goes, no, I'll light it. This is a conversation that basically goes on for about 90 seconds. 90 seconds in which the lighter fluid is seeping through the gaps in my hands round to the back of my hands. So, when eventually, after 1.5 minutes of holding a ball of lighter fluid, somebody lights it, when I pull my hands apart thinking that the lighter fluid will drop to the ground, instead, it ignites the back and the front of my hands. Right? So, literally, everything that is my hands is on fire. Have you ever tried beating out your own on-fire hand?
With another on-fire hand?
With another on-fire hand, because every time you hit one way, the flames come back through the other way, and like that side.
Well, people are thinking, this is a good trick.
Yeah. As I screamed. So the only thing I could do, and I promise you this is true, I ran down the end of his garden, trying to beat my hands out on the wet grass, right? As I looked up and I saw a pond. And I literally took my on-fire hands and put them out in a pond in a cartoon way. It actually went...
We have to say, it's important to say legally, you know, don't try that at home. Unless there's a pond nearby, you know, or something. Unless you've got, like,
I think maybe even go one step further with that story, which would be, if you've heard that story about how bad an idea it was, and you're sat there thinking, I want to try that, kill yourself. Because you're a fucking moron. And we don't need more people like you in our gene pool. If you've listened to that and thought, oh, maybe I'll set my hands on fire, end it now. Get a bottle of vodka, some pills, put on some Radiohead and fucking end it.
Could I... Again, don't try that. Charlie, your worst injury, please.
Mine isn't burn-related, but it was fireworks night, the night I did it. I was making corned beef hash for a party we were having, and with corned beef, there's a key. They've helpfully taken it off. There's normally a key and I undid it a bit with the key, which no, I can't do that. You undid it, with then the key came off. I do sort of think a food can't be that good for you if you need a key to open it. I don't know what they do now when you don't need a key. Do they put, like, a password on it? You say a password into it. Is there, like, a chip and pin, like, get your corned beef out, or something like that? I don't know. But anyway, the key came off, and it was, like, hanging half open. And I thought, oh, it's all right, it's nearly there. I'll pull it off. I'll just rip it open, I'll pull it off. And I went to do that, and which hand is this hand, and completely sliced my thumb open. Massive, and it was wasn't hanging off, but it was like open. You could see a bit of bone, and I was like, oh, I was on my own. And I was like, oh, this isn't good. Corned beef related injury. No one's thinking that's classy. I've still got a bit of a scar if anyone would like to see it. There it is. And but that was I thought I was gonna lose my thumb or something, but
someone said to
it was
me,
fine.
Someone said to me, you can either eat corned beef or you can have your hand ripped open to the bone by a can of corned beef. I reckon I'd go for the latter.
Well, that's a shame.
Out of the two.
You never had corned beef
Richard,
hash?
you're such a foodie.
Corned beef sandwich with a bit of pickle. Oh, lovely. Oh.
Sure.
When I was at school, someone had told me that if you cut yourself there...
Oh, that's where I cut myself, with corned beef.
Right.
Anyway, carry on. We'll find out. Do you turn into a knob?
They said you die. But it's OK.
Maybe you do, young man.
They said if you cut yourself there, you'll die. And so, years later, at secondary school, I think I did that with a ruler. So and I cut myself a little bit there. There was a little cut. And I thought, oh my God, I'm about to die. So I got up, and apparently I turned green and then fainted. That's it. I don't really get it. It's weird.
That is more pathetic than the polyp. Come on.
No, it is.
It is.
Way more pathetic.
Death by shatterproof ruler.
So, sorry, you've been through... How old are you now? How old are you?
24.
So you've been through 24 years, and the worst injury you've had is a little ruler
It's
cut.
odd, isn't it? Because I sometimes I think that maybe I'm like Bruce Willis in Unbreakable.
Right.
That maybe you can't hurt me.
Let's find out.
Don't bring it up again, he'll get turned on.
Yeah, open that.
I've got a follow-up question then to Sean's question.
Yeah.
Are there things that you believed up until reasonably recently that you now realise were ridiculous?
I thought fellatio, and this is true, I thought fellatio was just a posh chocolate.
In some ways it is.
Yeah. But like, it sounds like a posh chocolate. You say Ferrero Rocher, yes please. Fellatio, yes please.
That ambassador's reception would be a lot more fun. We need to pick a winner. We need to pick a winner from that round. I think it has to go to Firehand. You're like the worst hero from Heroes.
Like the Human Torch. Flame on. Flame off. Flame off! Flame off!
Rufus Hound.
I think what's the most embarrassing thing? Most embarrassing thing
that just happened to you.
you.
Apart from wearing orange and yellow T-shirts. What would tell us yours?
We were actually, I was in a group called Corky and the Juice Pigs, comedy act, and we were coming back from... It's a real name! So we were driving back from the Montreal Comedy Festival in our big van, which we used to call Jesus because it never broke down and always started in the winter, and it never failed us. And I'd been ill the whole weekend, and I had projectile vomiting, and it was coming out both ends at the same time. And it's about a 5-hour drive back to Toronto. And so we had to pull over on the highway because I just couldn't keep it in anymore. And so I jumped out of the van and I ran down the boulevard into the trees. And so the cars on the highway couldn't see me through the trees. And then I bursting, dropped my shorts. And all I had to clean myself up was my T-shirts, pull my T-shirt off. So I'm standing there with my trousers around my ankles, wiping myself off after vomiting and shitting. And I turned around. I was on the 17th hole of a golf course. And there was a guy, like
Gino, your most sort of embarrassing moment?
A couple of months ago, I took a guy out in a restaurant.
I really wanted to impress him because we're doing some business together. So we're having something to eat, Italian, of course.
Like tonight?
No, this is not Italian. We were having something to eat, and all of a sudden, this woman comes in, which I knew from before. And this woman, absolutely crazy. You know, the craziest woman you can have. So as soon as she comes in, I turn to the guy and say, oh, fuck. I say, I can't believe she's here. She's going to go on and on. This bitch, I mean, everywhere in the world, here has to come in. Well, he stood up. He said, can I please introduce you to my wife? And of course,
it's appalling.
That was really bad. You know, I really didn't know what to do.
Yeah. Or you either make a joke or you balls it out, don't you? And you, if anything, you sort of make you go even further. You go, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah,
She's
horrible, yeah.
Maybe not punch her, that would be too far.
No, I couldn't come up with anything. I just, you know, could say, well, are you going to divorce very soon, or she's going to be there forever? And then we moved on. It was horrible.
My most embarrassing moment, I know. I presented I had to go stand-up as part of my radio show last year at Edinburgh, and it was a bloody nightmare. And I only done it once, and I went on off the back of Reginald D. Hunter's audience. So it's 11 p.m. He's got 400 people in the Udderbelly, a big venue in Edinburgh. And I was live on the radio. I thought it'd be good to do it live on the radio as well.
Well, you thought it would be good to do it.
It'd be a good idea to someone else's audience.
Yeah.
Live on the radio, 11 at night, Edinburgh, 400 of them drunk. I've never tried stand-up before, so I get out there, and I got completely defeated by it, confidence-wise. I forgot where I was, forgot my words, I'm repeating myself. And I know I've got this sort of joke-come-story about an abattoir. So it's abattoir, I know. And I'm saying to the audience, I'm describing this train within this abattoir that takes the animals on their final journey to their death. And a woman at the back shouted out, "Are we all on that train now?"
It's a great heckle. It's a great heckle.
I think it's a brilliant joke, that.
Yeah, but it wasn't my act. That's not part of it. It's fine.
Well, who cares? But it was great for the woman to say that.
Do you know
what?
It's nice to have a laugh, isn't it, in a bad stand-up routine? And I actually, half of me thought that's mortifyingly embarrassing. The other half of me thought, oh, that is funny. So I did laugh. And then I got nervous. I thought, right, I've lost the audience. So I said, okay. I said, well, just two more things. And someone shouted out, "Make it one." It was, honestly, even talking about it now, I get a bit nervous. It still haunts me. Charlie, yours?
I worked in Quick Save, which used to exist, which was a supermarket.
Yeah, you could end the story there.
Yeah, that's quite embarrassing, yeah. I was working with this woman.
Sorry, I'm slow. I just got it. That's a fucking great line.
No, so I was working in Quick Save, and been working there a couple of weeks and having a laugh with this sort of middle-aged woman who I was getting on with, and we'd always have a laugh, like most days, you know. lovely. And anyway, we had this uniform that sort of was neck high, and one day she didn't wear the uniform, she wore a shirt, and we were having a Kit Kat at break time, and having this Kit Kat, lovely. And I leant over to her, I went, oh, you've got a bit of Kit Kat on your chest, and it was a mole.
Embarrassing thing your parents ever did to you. Sean Walsh.
Every time my dad called me in for dinner, we'd be playing football at the top of the road, headers and volleys. You remember headers and volleys, obviously, yeah. But the house was at the bottom of the road and we were playing at the top of the road. And then my dad would come out and he'd only be wearing pants, right? And red pants as well. My dad, he doesn't look very healthy. He's an Irish bloke, he's got no teeth. It looked like Mowgli had turned to crack. And sometimes I think he would get undressed before he came out. Like, he'd make a point. And I would see him before he'd said anything. So it's a moment you go, oh, no, here he comes. This is it. And then all my friends knew what was coming. Just standing there, oh, God, like that. There you go. Sean! And everyone in Brighton would turn around and look. Because I lived in Brighton, not because everyone in Brighton has really good hearing. People start looking out their windows for the curtains, and then he'd go, he wouldn't call it dinner, or supper, or tea, he wouldn't call any of that. He'd call it din-dins. He'd go, din-din! Din-dins! And he'd do this, din-dins! Din-dins! This is how my dad ate, din-dins! And then I went home and cried.
Perfect, thank you, Sean.
It's all right.
I feel as though I know your dad now. Mine involves my parents appearing on the 10 o'clock news, the Trevor McDonald 10 o'clock news programme. I was loath to bring this up, but you might recall I lost a job once, and it was...
No, I know. What happened?
Wasn't it you drank too much Coke or something?
I presented a kids' TV show, and I lost my job for habitual lateness. And I was always late because I'd boshed a load of drugs. And let's move on. Al Murray, yours.
As I've grown older,
yeah,
and I've got an 11-year-old, nearly 12-year-old, I've come to realise that actually my dad wasn't embarrassing and he was being funny. And the thing is to have a sense of humour about it. Actually, and when you're 14, you are an arsehole. It's what it boils down to. And all the time you're thinking, Dad, you're an arsehole. And it isn't him, it's you.
Yeah, I totally
And that's
agree.
life's greatest sort of joke, is that you then turn out just like him.
Yeah.
And my dad used to do stuff that, on reflection, actually, he was amusing himself. If I had friends around staying over, he'd come and ring a bell for breakfast and wake everyone up. he'd literally, the door would fly open, he'd ring this bell going, "It's breakfast!" like that. He'd sit there and he'd go, "Well, in all honesty, I think really it's time to bring back hanging." And all my friends would all go, "Shit, your dad's a fascist." But actually, he was trying to get us to argue with him and stuff like that. It was all a thing he was doing rather than it was embarrassing because he was being embarrassing.
Dan, yours, please.
My dad's probably the most... He's a really sort of emotionless guy. Like, the only time he's ever happy is when he's, like, being a dick. Like, he knows he's being a dick. And I was 15 years old till about 2 weeks ago. And my mates were there and we were going to go out. I think it was like a high school disco or something. So I tried to go out and I was trying to be the ladies' man and everything. So I sprayed myself with deodorant. Just about to leave, my dad popped his head in the living room and just went, you smell like a tart. Right? just as a sort of little dig. And I couldn't let him win. My mates were there and I had to look like the funnier one. And I was young and it wasn't particularly good, so I went, "Yeah, well, you smell like a twat." Bitch! And then he said, in front of my 4 best mates, "At least I know what a twat smells like."
So your dad's generally unemotional.
Yeah.
How do you think he would perform on television?
Well, he's been on television.
Well, he's going to be on television now because he sent us this message.
When Daniel was about 12 or 13, he used to play a lot of World of Warcraft online. And Leslie, that's his mum, was a bit concerned of his online safety. So one evening after my work, she popped in the office and one of the guys there was playing World of Warcraft. So she told Dave to instant message him. So he sent him a message saying, "Why aren't you doing your homework?" To which Daniel replied, "What's it to you, you fucking pedo?"
Just to be clear, you said to your mum, "What's it to you, you fucking pedo?"
I didn't know it was my mum, right? And then she phones me up and goes, "Oh, I'm a paedophile, am I?" Oh, sure.
What TV show do you like to watch in your underwear? Stephen, how about you?
Well, first of all, I should say that I don't wear underwear normally, so I put this underwear on to watch this show. And it's Pineapple Dance Studios. And it's kind of what I always imagined show business was like before I actually got into it and realised it's nothing like this.
Yeah.
But there's lots of people camping it up like you wouldn't believe.
I've done auditions at Pineapple Dance Studios.
For what?
Well, I'm obviously built for dance in my own way.
people, Charlie. Show
Come
the
on,
people. Let's see it.
Charlie, might as well.
I don't get the drum beat.
Charlie.
There's no drum beat. There's no drum beat.
Look at this, look at this. Come on, Charlie.
That's often what Richard's shouting backstage. Charlie, Charlie. I went there.
Tell me, Charlie, the show that you like to watch in your underwear, please.
Yeah, I would put pants on because I once got told off by my wife for not wearing pants on the sofa, and I was told it smelt of bums.
What, more than one?
Yeah. Just this sofa smells of bums.
So your bum smells of your bum and someone else's
someone else.
bum.
I don't know whose the other bum is.
Wow.
There we are. I like watching the football scores come in on teletext.
What's who you fan of?
Torquay United is my
United.
team, so
We've actually found
can see a
some.
few
We've
fans in tonight. That's nice. They're both in, so that's good.
We've recreated an exact match, I think, from 1992.
Oh, good, they scored. 'Cause I grew up thinking they were called Torquay United 0.
Talk us through it. Saturday, 29th of August, 1992.
2-2, Doncaster 2, Torquay United 2. That's Chris Myers. He scored in the 22nd minute. Because it's CFAX, look, we're page 1 of 2.
There we go, page 2.
So now you're stuck in, like, limbo. What's going on in Doncaster at 3 or 4:55 on a Saturday afternoon? I don't know what's going on.
Let's find out.
They scored! They bloody scored! Torquay have scored! They scored! And that's Dwayne Darby. Dwayne Darby's popped up in the 89th minute, one-on-one with the keeper. Yes! Then you'd have a hideous wait till the end of the match for it to say a little FT full-time next to it, so you know that is the official result. But that's what I do on my own.
In Devon. Matt, the show that I like to watch in my underwear is called 4 Weddings. It's 4 brides, and they go to each other's weddings, and then they... Yeah, you know it.
You said that as if you've just worked out the form.
That makes sense for it.
But then they score each other's weddings, and it has a ludicrously complex scoring system. So they score for food, dress, venue, and overall experience. And for each one, they score out of 25. Oh. And I can't work out at which point you'd eat a meal and think, well, this is either 7 out of 25 or 8 out of 25.
Yeah.
I'm really not sure which. In every single episode, at some point, a groom will get drunk and rip his shirt off and put an upturned pint pot on his head. John, tell us yours, please.
Well, I like Rick Stein's Food Heroes. My favourite type of people to watch on TV are people who, no matter how much telly they do, never quite look comfortable with it. And Rick Stein's done loads of series, and he's always just slightly miserable about the whole experience. And it's basically just an old man wandering around with his dog, getting pissed and talking about what he wants for tea. Chalky, God rest his soul, passed
I think you
away.
may have redefined the phrase "a couple of pints." As
Yeah.
well during that. I'm going to pick a winner from that round, and I think purely based on selection of television show, Louis Spence clearly wins. Louis Spence. And Stephen K. Amos, what would you like to talk about?
They do say that it's better to give than to receive. So I was wondering, what is the worst present you've ever had?
That's a great bloody question.
Yeah.
What's yours? Eva?
Mine, I can honestly say, one Christmas, I was 25 years old, and a family member actually gave me, wrapped up, a packet of assorted broken biscuits. As a present.
Presumably they weren't broken, though, when they wrapped it up. I mean,
No, they were broken. A packet of assorted broken biscuits. I didn't know you could buy these things. I'm not a child, and I do have the ability to chew biscuits.
Who bought them? Which was this? Which relative? Who bought them?
I can't tell you who it was.
You can.
She'll know who she was, cow.
Aunt?
No, but closer than aunt. If someone gave me a packet of biscuits, that alone would piss me off. The fact that they're assorted and broken.
I think the worst thing is when you get a present off somebody who's trying to sort of ingratiate themselves with you, who you don't really like, but it's something you quite want. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do know what you mean. Yeah.
And it's a horrible feeling of guilt, and
because you don't know what to do then. You don't quite know.
Well, you sort of have it, but.
But they then expect you to stay in touch, don't they? They want like a friendship out of it.
They're the worst presents.
I had a grand auntie who collected things in her house all alone. And when I was a little boy, I was really into Star Wars. And I told all my family I wanted a Star Wars figure. There's a whole cornucopia of them. I didn't care which one it was. There's all sorts of them. And she gave me a butter dish. The butter butter dish wrapped up in newspaper with string. There's a little boy. I was like, Luke Skywalker, da, 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 butter dish, yeah, woo! Butter dish.
Because,
What
you know,
10-year-old boy doesn't want to scamper in the woods with a butter dish? Going up to the other lads, hey boys, put down those sticks and guns and stuff. Let's have a picnic. And if you get to that phase and they haven't already battered you, they're like, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's have a picnic. And just everybody brings their stuff and we put out a checkered gingham blanket. We're all sitting side saddle, telling stories, eating stuff. And then somebody opens up the spread and like, boom, boom.
And if it's in a butter dish, it's spreadable as well. I mean, that's the thing.
Let's get busy with the fizzy.
Do you know what's a real tragedy about that? Is that you got that when you were 10. I'm 34, and I've only just realised that butter dishes are great.
Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't, you know what? For years, I spent 34 years thinking that butter needed to be in the fridge. As if. You keep it in a butter dish, and then when you make your toast, it's ready to spread. Do you know what else I thought for a long time? I thought you had to keep eggs in the fridge. What? What's that?
Look at this bunch of metrosexuals. Let's talk about pizza. No, butter dishes.
Worse than my wife bought for me to put in our house. It's an elephant reclaimed from an old fairground, and it cries blue tears. And she thought that when kids came round to the house, they would like this elephant and sit on it. I can now hand to me in another part, weirdly, in another part of my own flat, so that we can see the aforementioned elephant. Richard, over to you. Here is the aforementioned elephant, and it's very heavy. It was from a reclamation yard. My wife thinks that children will like it. And there are the eyes crying blue tears. Richard, back to you. Richard, thank you. What do you think of that, Andrew?
Do kids like it?
No, they're horrified by it. It's like something out of a bloody fairground in a Stephen King novel. Of course they don't like it.
True.
And I'm not stuck with the bloody thing. Where am I supposed to put it?
Where you have. When you said an elephant, I thought you meant a proper elephant.
No, I've got to put it there.
That's a bit of wood that's been carved.
I'll put it there, in my conservatory.
I'm going to get a drink.
No, well, I need to pick a winner. I think it's the broken biscuits.
That's a pretty shabby gift.
That's a shabby old
shabby,
gift.
isn't it?
The winner of that round, ladies and gentlemen, is Stephen K. Amos.
What is your most prized possession?
OK. Tell us yours, Gino.
Well, my one is my car, actually.
Yeah.
I got a picture. Look at that.
Oh, look at that, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. I don't like the stripe.
What's wrong with the stripe?
I think the stripe's a bit...
Sure, that's perfect.
What, is it a picture of a car, or...?
No, that is my car.
Oh, right.
That is my car. It's one of my toys. I like it. Look at that. It's Can I kiss it?
Well, you'd be kissing a television, but you can kiss it.
That's all right. I just missed it.
Kiss it if you like. There we go.
See,
not exactly got the audience on side.
Well, I was going to say, yeah.
Why not? See, the problem that I have, since I had it, you know, when it gets dirty, people do write on the... Yeah. I mean, this guy has a small cock.
How do they know?
Yeah, but that is the most upsetting thing. How the fuck do they know?
Yeah, but if you can get them to write on your cock, this guy's got a big car. Then you're.
My other one is my socks. I love socks. I'll show you my socks.
Show you the socks, OK. What does that say, Gina? What do they say on there?
King of the jungle.
Yeah.
You know.
That's nice. Do you get annoyed if somebody else were to wear socks that said King of the Jungle?
Yes, I would.
Unless it's Kerry Katona, of course, or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, unless it's somebody that has been there, you know, through suffering. They shouldn't wear it.
It's like it should be illegal, like dressing up as a policeman. If you're not a policeman, that's illegal. You shouldn't be able to wear those socks unless you're an celebrity.
So is with the cars. It should have been legal. Only Italians should have Ferraris.
Yeah.
It's a Ferrari, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Is the stripe down the middle from Halford's?
Tell us, but yeah, there was a guy when I was growing up, he basically got the shell of a Porsche 911 and had a Peugeot engine in it. I mean, anyone can do that, Gino. Yeah. Anyone can do that. Tell us why it's got a stripe on it and why you like this. I don't suppose Enzo Ferrari would have liked that bloody stripe.
I'm not sure about the stripe.
Well, no, it's got a stripe. There is a reason, because this is a version of the 360 Modena, which is called Stradale, is the sport version, and it comes with a stripe. I don't pull the stripe, it comes with a stripe.
I'd have asked for it without the stripe.
Yeah. Is it Brazilian? Is that what it is?
Charlie, yours, please.
My prized possession is my lawnmower.
Did you bring
Not
it?
quite the same as a Ferrari. I didn't bring it, no. I couldn't bring it because you can't. I came on the train and you can't take petrol on the train.
Oh, my God, I hope that's not your lawnmower.
Have you got my lawnmower?
Lost on the way, lost on the way to the show.
How excited is he?
Hooray! Oh, I love it. It's a Honda. I could have put a stripe down the middle. That would look good, wouldn't it? Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? It's a 12-inch. That's what I tell the ladies. It's actually 6, but, you know, that's average, so that's all right. I bought this from the back of the paper. You know when you have classifieds in the back of the, like, people sell stuff?
How much did you...
Oh, yeah, no, so I bought it, and it's like about 250 quid's worth of mower, that, right? I went to buy this, and it said 15 quid. I was like, well, we'll go and have a look at it. We're going to have a look at it. We got there, and this bloke was, like, desperate to sell this thing. He was like, oh, desperate. I knocked him down to 10. That's rough, isn't it? That's rough. It's got a choke as well. I like that when you do the choke. I rev it up, do it in the garden. It does stripe. It doesn't... Oh, they've taken the roller off. It's got a roller. If you want to do stripes... I think have you got a picture of my
your
garden?
garden. It's your garden.
There's my garden, right? And stripe. You want to get stripes like that, like Wembley, right? You have to have a roller on the back. And then you come round, you see, and what you do then is you go half on the stripe and back up the other way, and it pushes the grass, and that's how you do stripe. Oh shit! Sorry. Yeah, it's the best thing in the whole world, and I feel like such a man when I'm cutting my lawn. It's not an electric one. There's no lead. There's petrol in it. I put it back in my shed. I go in and have sex with my wife.
Sit down, Charlie. Thank you very much. There's Charlie's
Lovely, isn't it? I know you're all looking at that now. No one will be able to concentrate. Especially the ladies, dreaming of it.
Phil Nicol, your most prized possession, please.
Well, my most prized possession is generally true. It's my guitar, which I played in a musical comedy act for years, and I had my guitar stolen. My first guitar I ever had, and it broke my heart when it was stolen. And so my brother and the guys in my band went out and they bought me this one, brand new. And I kind of promised myself I'd never get too attached to a musical instrument again, but it's the only thing I actually have of any real value. So it's one of those things where I've carried it almost every day of my life, and I've written a lot of comedy songs on it.
Why don't you give us a little song?
Well, I've written a song for my dad, who's a balding man. I'm not going to make fun of the balding guys because your loss is great enough. But this is for my father and his follically challenged nature. My daddy's wig is as big as Africa. My daddy's wig is as big as a continent, yeah. My daddy's wig is hairy and big, y'all. My daddy's wig, it's a big wig, a big wig, a big wig. Yeah, he wears his wig with pride because of its large size. And when he wears it on the town, Richard, great big buildings tumble down. My daddy's wig is hairy and big. It's a big wig. It's a big wig, yeah. It's a bigger wig, yeah. It's a bigger wig, yeah. Come on and set my bigger, yeah. My daddy's in the, wow, my daddy's in the wig, the wig. This song is 17 minutes long. My daddy wears a very big toupee.
I've got to pick a winner from that. That moving tribute to your dad's wig. Gino's pick. I mean, Gino, you think it's... I mean, it's hard.
That's great.
It's got to be... Phil Nicol is the winner.
I like your bang. What is your favourite gadget? I was thinking about that, and yeah.
It's a good one.
It is.
Let's go over to Dave. Dave, what is your favourite current gadget?
Well, there's an app called Peggle. Has anyone here ever downloaded Peggle?
No, but I'm going to.
No, I'm so glad you said that because I'm like a Peggle pusher. I've got my friends hooked on this stuff as well. Yeah. You remember what Tetris was like when it first came out?
Yeah,
gripped your world. Yeah. Peggle's like that. There's a series of kind of balls, and some of them are blue and some of them are orange. And your job, using the gun thing at the top there with the little character in the middle, is to move the cannon and shoot the orange Peggles, the pegs. The more you get rid of, the better you do it. You have to complete all of the orange Peggles, get rid of them, you move on to the next level. If they could remake Trainspotting with me in the role of Ewan McGregor, and Peggle could play Skag. That's how amazing it really is. And
have you really got nothing better to do?
I've got... This is the point. I have got so much better things to be doing. Like a relationship and a job and paying the bills, like everyone has. But... fuck them, I've got Peggle.
The people behind Peggle shouldn't go to Heidi from the Sugar Babes for an endorsement of Peggle.
No.
That's not going to go anywhere.
Or anyone I know.
Okay.
I don't think it's much of an endorsement of Heidi from the Sugar Babes that her fiancé is more interested in Peggle.
Well, that'd be quite a good business model to sell an edition of Peggle to everyone who's ever been in the Sugar Babes. that would very
When you say it'd be the top-selling app of all time.
When you say in the Sugar Babes, do you mean in a Sugar Babe?
No.
I can only speak for my one. I can only speak for my one. The others I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know, Charlie.
Charlie, tell us your current favourite.
Or much, either of them.
Oh, Charlie, I'll just let you meet both of their boyfriends in your own sweet time. I'm staying well out of this one.
No, I'll never meet them. I don't like Lidl.
No, they'll be waiting for you outside.
Charlie, tell me about your current favourite gadget.
Yeah, mine's not really a gadget, it's more of a tool.
Yeah.
You're not going to pull
I've got them covered in pizza dust. Look.
He's not going to flop his cock out right now.
God, no, that is. It's a leather man, ladies and gentlemen, a leather man. Has anyone ever seen a leather man? You might think a leather man is something out of the Village People, but it's not. It's a leather man. Shall I talk you through the leather man? Are you looking at it thinking that looks like a right Cub Scout sort of rubbish thing? It's got a knife.
Is this just a pen knife?
No, steady. And there's a saw. There's some scissors there. Maybe trim your hair, Jack, with the... just a little trim of the old hair with the old leather man. There we are. Going anywhere nice on your holidays?
OK, Alex,
yeah, you look nice. Oh, let's put that on eBay. Fuck it, brilliant. There we are. Oh, hang on a minute. It's getting interested now, isn't it? Because so far, so Swiss Army knife. Fucking pliers, ladies and gentlemen. We've got some pliers going on, yeah? Oh, we need a Phillips screwdriver. We can't use a flathead. Oh, it's all right. I've got one. No one panic. So that's a leather man, ladies and gentlemen. A leather man. Like
it's very handy for those occasions when you want to decork a bottle, slice a tomato in half and trim nasal hair all at the same time.
Exactly. The Beer and Pizza Club. Oh, where's the bottle opener? It's all right, I've got the leather man. Don't panic. But look, you need some DIY doing, I'll show you some stuff.
Someone's going to lose their eye in a minute.
You know, look, let's just put a few of these things away. You carry on, I'll just do a few jobs to you around the house.
Flat.
Carry on with your TV show, Richard Bacon. I will carry on fixing up your house. You're all right here?
All right, Richard, what's your gadget?
Thank you, Jack, for bringing me in there. I'm a little distracted, I feel a little nervous.
Slightly nervous too.
Mine is something of an obvious choice. It's an iPad, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Some iPad fans.
Yes.
Can an iPad cut a tomato?
I suspect.
So I'll chip in. You carry on.
Yeah,
you carry on, Richard.
Okay. So this is it here. Have you got one of these, Dave Berry?
I haven't invested in one. It's a beautiful piece of kit, though, isn't it?
Look at the elegance. You know what people say? People say, "Oh, what's the keyboard like? Is it big enough? Is that big enough?"
It's the size of a standard keyboard.
It's the size of a standard
People
keyboard.
Say, has it got a Phillips screwdriver on it?
I'm sorry, has that got a keyboard on it?
Yes.
Can you email with that?
Yeah. Can you get Peggle on that? Can you fuck?
You know what you're thinking? I'd like to learn to play the guitar, Dave. You were thinking that earlier today.
Just now, actually.
No, don't worry. You don't need to buy a separate guitar. You just need the guitar playing app on your iPad. And
Let's borrow your iPad. I need some pliers.
Oh,
you're not
can I
got any
borrow
on
your
your iPad?
leather man? I want to learn to play the guitar. Charlie, sit down. Come on.
Carry on with your TV show. It's all right.
Why do I want a candelabra off my wall? Let me show you. So to learn to play the guitar, basically you get the special guitar. It's good, isn't it? You get the guitar app like that, and you can. Oh, that was a game show style woo. That was good. You can do a bigger one if you like. After I play a little chord. Ready? Oh, it looks like I'm winning. Jack, can you play the guitar?
No.
Oh, OK. We have no way of properly demonstrating that app. But that...
I
how dare people say it's pointless? Huh?
I completely... I was actually watching Star Wars on my iPad before I came out here.
OK, Charlie, can you just have
Are
a
you
go
doing
at
any
playing this?
whittling at all? If you needed to do any whittling, you could have used the old leather man here.
But you're right. But Jack,
how long's the iPad guaranteed for, Richard?
Oh, sorry, does Leatherman come with Apple Care and a 24-hour hotline? And you can ring at a moment's notice.
All right.
Right.
Thank you, Jack.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Jack, let's go over to you.
OK.
What is the gadget that you want to talk about?
My gadget is a rangefinder. I live in America most of the time, and one of the cool things about living in America is that, arguably cool thing is that you can own a gun.
Oh,
my
dodgy
cold
ground right
dead
there.
Dodgy ground. Really changed the definition of
So
cool
let's sing
there.
that guitar again, please.
I said arguably, OK?
Yeah.
I was arguing...
Maybe you should go and unscrew something in the kitchen, Charlie.
You've confused the word cool and dangerous.
I think I might come with you, Charlie.
This is...
Great way to clear a room. Anyway,
this is a laser...
rangefinder.
Bottle opener, have you? Oh, sorry, I got my own. It's all right, I've got my own. You're all right. Carry on, Jack.
This is a laser rangefinder that, when you're shooting targets at distance and you want to know how far away they are, you point it at it and it fires a laser beam, bounces back and tells you exactly how far your target is.
Let's see how far away someone in the studio audience is.
Oh, that's a good thing.
That's
Yeah,
a nice
that.
idea. Just lady there on the back row there, just in front of the window. Tell us your name. Izzy. OK. Jack, just make the measurement quickly.
OK.
To Izzy.
Can I have a guess?
Yes, please do.
We're going 20 metres.
How far?
It's 13 meters.
Oh, how about that? Izzy is 13 metres from us. Hey. Let's choose the best gadget. And I think, purely for passion...
It cuts you, but it's got to be Charlie, isn't it?
It's the Leatherman! Jenny, what would you like to talk about next?
Oh, now I have a question for you all. What surprisingly do I love that nobody would expect me to love?
OK. Rob, what do you love that people wouldn't think you did?
I do this weird thing when I get magazines and I just cut stuff out.
Collage.
Yeah. But I don't ever make a collage. I just put it in a shoebox.
How weird this is depends on what type of magazines they are.
It's a bit like a serial killer hobby, isn't it?
Is it like cars? If you see a car in a magazine, you think, I'd like that, I'll cut it out.
No, it's not even like that. It was the other day, I did a really intricate tree frog just for the challenge.
Yeah. Oh, what, the challenge of the cutting?
It's the challenge of the cutting, yeah.
Yeah, that, again, a phrase like that is a bit sort of murdery.
Yeah, isn't it?
Gemma Mona from Hollyoaks. Hi, Gemma.
Hi.
What do you like doing? What do you love that no one would expect you to?
Rifle shooting.
Oh, that's good.
I recently went to Mexico. We ended up going rifle shooting, and my fiancé thought he was going to be absolutely brilliant. So he gets the gun out, misses. I get the gun out, get it right in the centre.
What were you killing?
Only like metal sheeps and chickens and stuff like that.
Did you think she was shooting Mexicans? Jenny, what's your answer?
Well, I like... I'm a very bad-tempered old woman. I actually like Pilates. Pilates has become my thing. I used to like yoga, and then I had to stop doing yoga because I became very competitive at yoga.
I didn't know you could win at yoga.
No, neither did the teacher.
What does Pilates do? I've never really understood it.
It's German. It is...
Oh, God. Yeah. You think you've got it off your chest.
Yeah. The session's only gone for half as long as you expect.
Yeah. No, it genuinely does me a power of good.
OK, thank you. Mark Watson, what's yours?
Aussie rules. I'm really into Aussie rules football, and it's very hard to find anyone else that likes it, but I've been there quite a lot, and I'm a very addictive personality with stuff like sports. So once I get into a game, I really And
Do you play or just watch?
Oh, if I played, I'd die with
Yeah,
it.
I thought
In football, I'm sort of a tricky winger.
Yeah.
In Aussie rules, I'm more of a tricky guy that's in the stand.
Yeah, fair enough.
The thing that I love that most people wouldn't expect is the competition element of Daybreak and Lorraine.
They're great.
They are great, aren't they? Yeah. So it will be someone like, I don't know, Tim Vincent, and he'll be walking in some holiday destination, and he'll say, what do you call that thing that you wear on your head? Is it A, a sock, B, a glove, or C, a hat? Call us, it's only a quid.
There was one that I didn't get, and I went to the doctors. Because if you don't get one of those questions, you have to go and get yourself checked out.
They basically completely refused to let us show an illustration of the competition from Daybreak or Lorraine. So, instead, I'm going to show you how it's done, all right? Welcome to this beautiful island resort. It really is paradise on earth. If you... Oh, stop it! I'm trying to host a competition here. If you want to win a 10-day stay here with as much food as you can eat, non-alcoholic drinks and £200 spending money, all you got to do is answer this question. Why do minor celebrities do these sort of competitions? Is it because A, they're free that day and had nothing better to do? B, they really believe in the show and want to do anything they can to help? Or C, they need the cash and actually think this might relaunch their career? Phone 08081 570 999. This obviously isn't a real competition, so don't bother calling the number. Even if you do, it isn't a real number, so you won't get through to anyone. It's just an illustrative gag, so grow up and deal with it. I'm going to pick a winner from that round, and it's Rob Beckett! Yes. Dangerous Dave Berry. What subject did you want to bring next?
Well, I thought we couldn't get together as lads, have a few beers and a few pizzas about discussing previous conquests. I thought we should maybe talk about the disastrous ones.
So it's worst dating experiences. Dave, give us your own example.
Well, what got me thinking about this was we were all a little worse for wear in a bar one night, and I ended up chatting up the barmaid. And I was...
Always a good move.
Always a good move.
Always a good move.
But it was like a Thursday night or something, and I'd arranged to meet her, and we'd get the train up to town, and we'd have a bit of dinner, and it'd be great. I got to the train station, and that was the first time I saw her, right? I couldn't kind of remember what she looked like, but she was the first thing that struck me about her. And you know, horses for courses. Everyone has a different type that they like. When your girlfriend or could-be girlfriend is 7'3", it doesn't really do it for me.
Avatar.
I like a tall woman.
Yeah, but I mean, there was tall, and there was, you know, the sign that said Greenwich train station. There's that tall. So we got on the train, and we were waiting at the platform. This old woman comes to the train doors, and she kind of pokes her head, and she goes, "Oh, excuse me, dears." And this girl, whose name I can't remember, let's call her Mrs. X. Not because, you know, she was an X, just because I can't remember her fucking name. And she went, yes? And this old lady went, "Could you tell me how I get to London Bridge, please?" And she went, yeah, if you just cross over the bridge to platform 6, jump on the train, that'll take you straight there. So this old lady then kind of set off, and I hadn't really kind of thought too much about it. And then all of a sudden, I'm not exaggerating this, I swear to God, we're both sat on the train, and she just goes, "That takes her the other way!" She's not going anywhere near London Bridge! And I was like going... So then, what made matters worse...
Sounds great!
I know, but I mean, I then got up and called the woman back and said, "Oh, I'm really sorry, you've been lied to. I felt morally obliged to do that."
Whoa, you called your date a liar that quick?
Basically,
That's
yeah.
serious.
And then I got back on the train, and for the rest of it, it was just her just staring at me going, "You are so uncool." It was a disastrous first date.
Mine was, I was on a date with a woman, we'd been to dinner, then we went to a bar after dinner, and this woman's mate was there, and this woman's mate was really, really drunk. And the woman who on a date said to her friend, "Look, do you want me to give you a lift home?" And she said, "Yeah, sure." So we're in the car, on the way to the home of my date's mate, who is really, really pissed. And I'm sat in the back of the car, and the date's gone well, and my date has already said to me, "Do you want to come back to my flat tonight?" So I'm thinking, this is good, you know, this is game on. And I'm in the back of the car, and I really need the loo. And I need it...
Number one or number two?
Both.
Oh,
I mean, it really
who and a
both.
pee?
When bacon goes, he really goes.
So we pull up at the flat of the drunk girl, and I said to her, "Look, this is really embarrassing. Do you mind if I use your toilet?" And she said, no, sure, that's fine. So then the drunk girl says to my date, "Well, why don't you come in as well?" So we'll go upstairs. And I go into the bathroom, and, you know, it all comes out. You know, it all comes out.
You had to light a match.
It's a terrible mess.
You had to shimmy down the drain pipe with shame.
Dave, it was that level. And so I tried to open the window. I thought, I can't leave the bathroom in this state, smelling like this.
Did you wipe your ass on the curtains?
No.
Did you wipe your ass?
No, but it was, you can't wash away that sort of stench. So I try and open the window, and the window is jammed. I'm like, oh God, the window's jammed. So I reach for the air freshener. It's empty. So you know that thing you do when you've made a bit of a stink in the bathroom, and you just open the door a little bit and then shimmy out and close it straight behind you. So
I know it well.
Do that. I think, okay, I've got away with this. Go back into the living room, and then the drunk girl says to my date, "Hey, you've not been to my flat before. Why don't I take you on a tour?" Everything slowed down at that point. And I stayed in the living room, and I'm on the sofa, and they're kind of behind me going down the corridor, and I hear her go, "This is the kitchen." Then I hear her go, "This is this is the bedroom. Here it comes. Here it comes." And she goes, "This is the bathroom." And she goes in the bathroom. And there's a silence. And the drunk girl says, "He's had a shit in my flat." And then they came back into the living room, and I didn't really know what to say. I believe that your story, Jack, involves someone coming back to your house. Tell us your story.
Yes. My story was about 4 or 5 years ago. I meet this girl. We go to dinner. It's going great, like, vibing, that whole thing. And I invite her back to my place. She agrees. And on the drive going back to the house, I can sense, like, there's a bit of a change, there's a bit of a shift in her demeanour. And she starts to get slightly aggressive. We get back to the house. I was like, "What do you want to do?" She's like, "Let's watch a movie." And it was right around the time when Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou just came out. Thank you.
Film.
She starts...
A bit overrated.
All right, you're not coming home with me.
You big shitter.
And she starts just berating it, saying how bad the film was, she couldn't believe it, all this stuff. She doesn't want to watch that. And she's like, "Oh, and by the way, where's the spare bedroom that I'm sleeping in?" And I'm like, "Okay, you're one of those." So I just go, "Well, I picked a really good movie." And she goes, "What?" And I went, "It's a surprise." Put the DVD in, hit play, Platoon. Just the most violent, horrible, gory war film ever, in hopes that she would just go to bed. It worked. She just went into bed in the guest bedroom. And that was that. That was probably one of my worst dates.
Right, all good stories. We have to pick a winner from all of them.
You shitter over here.
It's the host with the most by a mile.
Captain Pooh. Ollie, what topic have you brought along?
I was wondering, men of the Beer and Pizza Club, who is your man shag?
Right.
Who can you can look at the opposite sex and go, yes, that is an attractive man, that is a sexy man. Right. If no one found out about it, maybe you'd want people to find out about it.
What's
yours? I don't know. Mine is quite specific, is Andrew Flintoff, Ashes era. When he's at his peak, at his prime, just taken sort of 7 wickets and massive, and then he's won the Ashes, and he's given you a great big cuddle, and we've won the Ashes! We've won the Ashes, Andrew! Come on, let's go and have a few drinks. Oh, we're really drunk. You bloody won the Ashes, Andrew. Bloody love you. We beat the Australians. Oh, we've got drunk. What's that doing in there? It doesn't matter. Let's carry on. Let's carry on. It doesn't matter. No one will remember. No one will find out. Tomorrow you've got a lovely wife, so have I. It's all right. We'll wake up the next morning. Oh, we won the Ashes. Remember that? Yeah, we won the Ashes. Oh, well, nice to see you, Andrew.
Mine's an unusual choice.
Oh.
Mine is Andrew Marr. Rufus, there's a logic to this. Sorry.
No. I'm interested in the logic.
If I'm going to have sex with a man, it might as well be with a man I want to meet. I could have a nice chat with him about some of the political heavyweights that he's met. I might ask him if that's his own open-top car in the opening sequence of the Andrew Marr Show. What I'm trying to do, because I don't particularly want to have sex with a bloke, then I'm distracting myself from the sex. So I think it would be during the sex, I'd be saying, what was Peter Mandelson like on Sunday? That was a bit
in bed.
In bed.
Rufus, yours, please.
I think the appliance of logic is all important in this question. My gut reaction was Bruce Willis.
Oh.
Right? Yeah. But the thing about Bruce Willis is I think he would plough through you like a digger. You know what I mean? Like, once he started, it's raging bull. He's going to pound away until he is sated. And don't expect the reach around.
No.
Don't expect a little something for your trouble. He will use you like meat.
He's not as caring as Flintoff.
No. Flintoff, he's
not as
going to buy
loving.
you a drink afterwards. Willis is going to spit on the back of your neck.
What is your most horrific ex-girlfriend, ex-partner, ex-wife experience? And we'll start with Lee Ryan. Because I think it'll be fun.
Well, I've got a really nice apartment in London.
Well done.
And so basically, I was like in my flat, and she, you know, left. And then the next day, I came out, and there was Lee, you suck pig, written in my wall, and but it was scratched in my wall. Because
why you suck pig?
Yeah,
because she was Italian and she couldn't talk.
Why would you suck a pig? I still don't even understand that. What does that mean? What's a weird insult?
I don't know. I suppose like an Italian. You suck a pig.
You're
like
such a pig, mate.
Maybe it could have been you're such a pig. Yeah, you're
you suck, you pig.
But it was you such pig. So it was.
You such pig, Lee.
Yeah, that's it. You're such
you
pig.
Such pig.
That was it.
That's harsh. It's sorry, carved in your wall. How did you get it out? What happens?
I don't know. I think they. I don't know if it's.
Well, there's products for that. Post-Italian girlfriend polyfiller.
Yeah,
it's exactly that.
Yeah.
No.
You got a crazy girl? Get this one.
No.
You sucker pig.
If you're going to go to the length of carving in someone's wall, you probably want to make sure you got the translation right.
Must have
that's
been quite a while.
so permanent.
Did you not hear some sort of chipping sounds?
Yeah. No, I just said. I thought I'm not going out there.
No.
Were you going out with a Fraggle?
Thank you, Lee. Good stories. Thank you very much. Rufus Hound.
Not so much crazy ex-breakup stories, but my first ever proper real girlfriend, who was a delightful young lady and is now a delightful woman. And I got off of college early, went back to my house, knowing my mum wouldn't be back till 7. And we did what teenagers do, which is fuck. And I thought make it quite romantic, you know, rather than just a teenage fumble. So afterwards, I was naked, she was naked, I go downstairs, I cook us some dinner. Do a little light pasta. Oh, yeah, all naked. So she sits down, she's still naked, you know. I'm still naked. It's all very romantic and would have proceeded to be very romantic up until my mum got home early for work. And just freaked the fuck out. Just lost it. My mum said she was so angry, because my mum and dad had divorced not that long before. She was so angry, you know, that being on her own now, she had to kind of be able to trust us and things like that. And I felt really bad. And she went to work the next day and told all of her workmates, like, what had happened. And all of her male workmates went, well, what do you mean, what do you do about it? You do nothing about it. You just pat him on the back and get out of the fucking house.
Yeah.
And she came home and apologised for freaking out about it. Oh. So it was an awful moment there, but it was very quickly remedied. So, yeah.
Did you then say, OK, well, next Saturday we're going to be naked having dinner in the kitchen again? I mean, did you revisit the...
Here's a fiver, take yourself to the pictures.
Yeah, right, yeah. Mine's an unusual one, and this will sound ridiculous, but it's absolutely true. I was very briefly... We're talking about exes, and I was very briefly married to Britney Spears. What happened was, I was presenting The Big Breakfast on Channel 4, and I interviewed her, and she'd just split up with Justin Timberlake. And I say to her, Britney, you've left this guy, what about me? Why don't you marry me? Now, here's the key factors to bear in mind. We had a vicar present, and she signed an actual marriage certificate witnessed by other people. We were legally married. And at the end of the interview, her bouncer ran after me, took the marriage certificate, the contract, out of my hand and tore it up. Now, in law, you don't get out of a contract that you've signed just by tearing it up. Right? You see, take my point?
No.
No, OK.
Well, I'd like to ask the gang a little question. My wife has sort of a crush on the sports presenter Alan Hansen, who is a 56-year-old man, and I wondered if there was anybody that the rest of the group fancied over 50.
Rufus, do you fancy anyone over 50?
I recently had to interview Janet Street Porter on Radio 4. You know, it was never somebody that I'd looked at and had any feelings towards one way or the other. but in person, she's a woman who is totally and has spent her entire life just on the lash. Right. Just super confident, had all the fun, has done everything on her own terms, and that kind of confidence and sheer belief in yourself is the sexiest thing in the world. And by the end of it, I was looking at Janet Street Porter thinking, you are quite something.
Yeah. So you mean, you don't necessarily mean in a sexual way.
No, I do mean in a sexual way. You do.
Sean Walsh.
Your mama.
No.
Demi Moore?
She's 48, nearest out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
That's a massive line
She's
there.
48.
Oh. Why have rules?
If it helps, my mum is older.
I know that, mate. Hey! Shagged your mum! I'm trying to make it like a beer and pizza club. I shagged your mum. And your dad. Oh, no. Oh, God. What am I doing?
Sean, Demi Moore.
Yes, just because she's the oldest woman that looks younger. It's just simple. I'm not into weird stuff.
Look, Sean, surely it's this. The point of fancying somebody that bit older isn't that you just find the one that looks the youngest and go, I'll have her.
Right. That is exactly what I've done.
Yeah. And you haven't even picked somebody who is over 50. So you are shallow on literally 4 different counts, which almost makes you deep.
All right, OK, give me someone over 50 then, we'll do it.
Helen Mirren.
Helen Mirren?
Oh, no.
I know, the Queen. There you go, just bang the Queen. Just get her to... Oh, you can't... No. No.
What you were about to say was treason. That's not allowed.
Every time I want to send a letter, I had to lick the back of your head. Well, tonight, Liz, I'm licking somewhere else's.
Let's have a look. We've got some tweets on this topic. Who do you fancy over 50? Hooley Jones, 75 on 25. But I'd love Sir Michael Caine to blow my bloody doors off. Madinax, at Madinax. Noel Edmonds, he could open my red box any day.
Red box?
Grow up. Alan, who do you fancy that's over 50?
I don't know. I mean, I think who you fancy is much different from who you'd shag. Like, if it was shag over 50, I'd pick something weird like Thatcher. That'd be fun. Or exactly that, just because it'd be funny to go, you know, took my milk, did you? You enjoying this now? That'd be
That a reference to Thatcher Milk Snatcher.
Yeah.
Headline from 1977.
Thanks very much. I was a keen reader when 2 years old.
Who is your free pass in a relationship? Someone, your girlfriend or your husband or your wife, etc., etc. Who are they not allowed to be mad at if you do?
OK, good. And who's yours?
I've got a few. My top ones are... I've been thinking about it a lot. Emma Stone, gorgeous young girl. Legal. Good. She's like 21 or something. Yeah. Also Karen Gillan.
They're both ginger.
And Lorraine Kelly.
Oh, Lorraine.
Oh, Lorraine Kelly. I would drag my penis through miles of glass just to smell her. She's just the definition of MILF. And she, you know, being a mother and stuff, she'd probably keep me very well fed.
Sean, you can go next if you like. What's your free pass?
Well, I don't have a girlfriend. What? It's fine. I'm OK. Loads of people don't.
All the women are your free pass.
Yeah. But if I... yeah, exactly. Probably Jodie.
Jodie, are you single these days?
I am.
Oh, you? What happened to that TV show where you were going to marry someone?
Oh, it was a load of shit, wasn't it?
Was it? Al, did you see that show?
No, I didn't, but I'm glad I've had the snap review. I won't bother.
It was a show where you set out to find a husband.
Yeah.
What was the name of the show?
Don't Don't make me say it.
Go on, please.
You know, because it sounds rude. That's why you want me to say it, isn't it?
I don't know what you're talking about, Jodie.
Jodie Marsh, totally Jodie Marsh, who will take her up the aisle.
And that was on BBC One on Sunday morning. I think you and Jodie are going to get on really well. Al, your free pass.
My free pass would have to be J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez, because she's single now.
She is.
And, yeah, it's what every man in the country thought when her divorce was announced was, all right, yeah. I'm in with a chance. Finally. And I was actually... I did a Royal Variety show when he was about 9 in 2001. And...
it's true.
Yeah,
you would have been
11. Oh, I'm sorry. Halfway between the dream box and the whatever, the... Who cares? It's for kids. I was on the Royal Variety, and she was on it. But in the rehearsal for the line-up, because you rehearse meeting the Queen at the end of the Royal Variety show, and you're told you're not allowed to say what she said to you, it's a secret what she said to me. But
Go
anyway,
on, please.
she said that was most amusing. But she said it in the Queen's voice, obviously.
Okay. Do you think she was being... do you think she's being sincere? Do you think she enjoyed your act?
I did sneak a glance at her in the Royal Box, and I saw these little gloved hands go at one point. So, you know, I think she liked some of the stuff about the end of the British Empire. Anyway, the point is... the point is, you're all waiting. You're told where to stand, and I was this far from J-Lo in the rehearsal, right behind her, and there was her current husband who looked... who had the look of a lottery winner, basically. Can you fucking believe it? He's like that. And she was, without a doubt, the most beautiful woman I've ever
Was she?
Ever seen, yeah. Incredibly beautiful. And that was the rear view. Right? She is so stunning. And, yeah, absolutely in a heartbeat. I'd climb over every single last one of you. Yeah? I'd lob him the dream box so he'd be distracted.
Best of luck with that. I'll do keep us posted.
I will do.
The audience have been tweeting us tonight their own thoughts on the free pass question. Mummy Justine says, my ex-partner chose Angelina Jolie, but the joke's on him. The woman he left me for looked nothing like her. Mr. W3BB. My ex-girlfriend would have let me sleep with Jordan, but as Jodie's here, ... Who is Mr. W3BB? Stand up, please. Thank you. Jodie Marsh. Would you let him take you up the aisle?
I'm second choice. Come second best. If he'd said me first, then maybe, but...
Are there points in your life when you've seen yourself as being in competition with Jordan? Is there, like, a rivalry there?
No.
Do you like her?
No.
Just to be clear, Jodie, you do not want to have intercourse with that audience member?
No, nor with Jordan.
Sit down!
What would you be Olympic champion at?
What would yours be?
Mine would be 24-hour news watching.
Oh, you're really good at that?
Do you know what? I'm really good at it, and for two reasons. One, I watch a lot of it, so I'm good at it in that way. And two, whenever I watch it, something exciting happens. I was in a field a while ago, and we're having a barbecue, and there was like a load of guys. We played cricket all day, and I said, I'm just going to go pop inside, and I couldn't resist it. Boom, Sky News, see what's happening. Raoul Moat, 5 minutes in, bam, the gun goes off. During the election, I was tuned in when Alistair Campbell had a go at Adam Bolton.
That was wicked.
But I get to see all the good things which happen on 24-hour news, which would make me probably a gold medal winner for Britain.
So how long could you go non-stop in, like, one session of watching 24-hour news?
I've done... I seriously, during the elections, was on it for 12 hours.
That's amazing. Really?
What I'm not sure about is whether I'm lucky tuning in and it's live, or I'm kind of all-powerful and they
like
wait
a Truman
for me
show.
to tune, they wait for me to tune in,
yeah.
and then stuff happens.
Yeah, maybe that's what... I think it's that. I think it's definitely 100%, this is the law now, that when you tune in, stuff happens in the law and in the world.
Which is why I'm a gold medalist.
People ought to warn the Prime Minister, sir, you should know that Tim Lovejoy is about to watch Sky News.
Yeah.
Something will happen.
Yeah.
Any minute now, any minute
away from
now.
snipers.
Yeah. Let's go over to Rufus Hound. Rufus.
I can eat a shitload of Weetabix.
But so what do we see?
box.
For 26, I have some. I handily have Weetabix in my flat.
A box of Weetabix.
A lot of it. So that bowl is already full with Weetabix and milk.
Right.
So why don't
If you've
take
left
the
that a
tray?
while, that has welded onto the bowl. I promise you. That Weetabix, you cannot get that off the bowl.
It's got a little. I'm quite specific about my Weetabix, to be
Well,
honest.
we'll go on to the next.
That
one,
is
Charlie.
slightly too much milk.
Is it?
Well,
look,
another. Yeah.
Put another one in, soak it up.
Yeah. Well, that's what we've just done, Charlie.
So I do apologise.
Well, you're not very good at this so far. Get eating, and I'll keep lobbing some more.
Listen. Right? What would you say to Linford Christie? Yeah? This is my Olympics opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
Just so I haven't got my foot in the blocks just yet doesn't mean I'm not going to win
By
this
the way, this
sprint.
is in the blocks. We haven't fired the pistol.
To be honest, I have a very specific way of eating them.
Oh. There's a lot of rules suddenly. First of all, it was I can eat a shitload of Weetabix. Now it's I can't really eat this much milk.
Okay. I can do the hurdles. Well, put this blindfold on. That's not really how I do the hurdles.
Right.
Do the hurdles!
That would be good. Blindfolded hurdles.
So Rufus has started eating the Weetabix. Mine, I think that I am the best in the world at looking at bright lights. I have this. That's right. You heard me.
Come on.
I have this compulsion to look at bright lights. Oh, there's one there. Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I don't know where it comes from. I'm
Are
kind
you
of
a moth?
addicted to it. No. But I like this lamp here. Let me show you. Let me show you. I'll turn this on. Ready?
Oh, good.
I don't know how long I could stare at the for.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a first-class Weetabix eater we're eating here.
This is going really
Here
well.
he is, going in for his second helping this evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, is his 10th Weetabix.
Double figures.
Get in
now.
there, get over there. Thank you. Have a seat. You continue to eat.
That's a lot of Weetabix, mate.
It's a lot of Weetabix.
Charlie, what would be your Olympic sport?
I am absolutely brilliant at grabbers on a pier or a seafront.
Okay.
Like grabbers that you like feel it, pulling it back. I am brilliant at that. I will win. I'll put in £1 and I'll win twice.
Are you sure it's a skill?
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
It's a skill. It's a skill. It's from living. Oh, good.
Oh my God, that's the door.
Who's that?
I hope that's not a grabber lost on its way to the arcade.
Ah, bring it on. I hope it's the right sort of grabber.
He knows his grabbers.
To be honest, this is disappointing because this isn't the sort of grabber I'm used to. But I'll have a go at it.
Get a bloody grabber over to my flat, and he's
This isn't a grabber, but we'll have a go at this. This is like a sort of steam engine toy, but there we are. We're off. You can't even control it. Is the major issue? Look, oh, what is this? Oh, it's like from the Blitz or something. Hold on, what have we got? It's feeling it. It's got some. Ladies and gentlemen! Ladies and gentlemen! Oh! Shit! This isn't a proper grabber, but I got it, didn't I? I got it then. Let's have another go.
Let's just check in with Rufus. Rufus, how many Weetabix have you had
Hold
so far?
on, here it comes. Grabbing it up. For the
pretty
ladies.
into this,
This
so
is for the
slow.
ladies.
Oh, no, the other way.
Come on, grab it, grab it.
I can't remember. I don't know how many was in the last
Grab
one.
it.
But there are 4 left.
I think you're at 10. When you eat that, you're at 10.
Grabbing it up. Ooh, its feet. Ooh. Oh, come on, it's that dog. It wants that dog. Look! Look at the clamp it's got on it. Oh, you've got... Yes! Yeah! Yeah! Overly excited. Truly delighted about a small shit dog.
You've taken far too long to eat that Weetabix. It's skillless anyway. So the medal, ladies and gentlemen, is going to Charlie Baker.
Yes, thank
you. Greatest sporting moment, Russell Kane.
Oh, well, I have no sports skills at all, and all sports virtually makes me break out in eczema. I hate it so much. And I've only got one glory, and it was preceded the day before with our gym induction, which had been the most humiliating thing. Like, my dad's a semi-professional bodybuilder, so Joe Weider's bodybuilding system, gym built at the end of the garden, 3 sets of 10, drummed into me from day one, which is why I've rebelliously grown up into a twig with hair on. And tricep extensions. So I was the only person who knew the equipment in the gym, right? So I'm showing off tricep extensions, calf raises and all of that. And I couldn't get the attention of beautiful women ever, my whole school life. So I was doing a tricep extension on the corner of a bench, so the teacher and all the girls were focused on me for once. But what I didn't realise was, where I had the shorts on, every time I did a rep of the tricep extension, one of my testicles was squeezing out. You know, like one of those trolls you buy on holiday and you squeeze it and the eyes go like that. Right. So I was coming off the back of that, and the next day, it's our first basketball lesson. To us, it was, you know, I'd never seen a basketball, never held it, and I was already getting humiliated from the day before. First lesson, first word. Has anyone ever thrown a basketball? No, Russell? And I was went like that, threw the basketball straight through the hoop on my first lesson. That's the only thing I ever achieved in 5 years of sporting education.
Well done. Russell, we're going to give you a chance to recreate your big moment anyway.
Oh, no,
We've got this is a small ball, but the net is also to scale. So it's about right. Reg, you can play, can't you? You're quite good. Can we give him a lesson?
Reg, can you play basketball?
Yes. But, I mean, you do realise that this is not basketball.
This is going to look like the golf ball in Reggie's hand.
Right, Russell, come and stand here. Reginald.
Look at my shoes, they're so made for basketball.
Reginald, before he plays a shot, any initial thoughts on his body language and how he's approaching this particular shot?
I'm going to assume that I've become the resident basketball expert because I'm tall. Yeah, his form looks fine. I think the basic premise, yeah.
All right, here we go.
3 points if I do it from
here. Here we go.
Sure, yeah.
We've got a drum roll. Do it, lad.
Random.
Come on.
Reg, give me some tip. What am I doing wrong? Am I throwing it too high?
You need to flex your wrist.
What about my...
Yeah. Think of a gay man saying absolutely not. No.
OK, that's a good tip. That's brilliant.
Drum roll, drum roll. Wait.
You got demoted.
Oh, no.
I went back in.
Let's have another look at that. Here's a slow-mo. Here it is in slow motion.
Do you see the testosterone kick in there?
Now you get the point of sports.
I've got it.
Reginald, you're a big basketball fan, aren't you?
Yeah, but I'm more of a baseball fan.
Rounders.
Rounders. Yeah. Almost, I like it about as much as I like soccer. Yeah, it hurt, don't it? Best baseball moment. My favorite baseball player is a guy named, you probably never heard of him, named Greg Maddux. I went to see the Atlanta Braves, his team, play in '97. And I get to the stadium, I get to my seat, and there was this big, fat, rednecky, you know, just Dukes of Hazzard hat-wearing dude sitting in the seat that I was supposed to be sitting in. And he glared at me, and I glared at him. But I remembered to think, he may not be racist. He might just be an asshole. So we sat next to each other, and it was tense, you know, we were making very sure not to touch each other, bump each other. Anyway, Greg Maddux is pitching, and he throws a ball, and the batter clocks it like, pow, knocks it to center field. And as soon as the batter hit it, as soon as the sound reverberated around the stadium, you could hear Greg Maddux go, fuck! And it just reverberated around the stadium. And the fat racist dude, he looked at me and he said, Greg Maddux still cares. I said, he do, baby. And then we hugged each other. And we was cool after that.
Yeah. Did you know that baseball is based on cricket? That baseball ripped off cricket?
What? Really?
It's true, man.
Okay, all right. It's just to make Britain feel good. So no. Sure. All right.
I think it definitely improved cricket. Come on.
Yeah.
Americans used to play cricket. They were better at it than us.
Were they?
And they've got bored with it and invented baseball, which is cricket except interesting.
They can go, what, 5 days and not have a winner?
Yeah.
Man, that's like having sex all day and nobody comes. I mean, it's just...
It's tantric baseball. I was at the Oval, and we played Australia, and we won the Ashes, and it was the biggest thing for you know, 150 years since they invented baseball, basically, and it was so exciting that I started to drink, and I just drank, and it wasn't. I was uptight, you know. Yeah. And in order to help me relax, I just started to, you know, drink. And by the time England won the Ashes for the first time in like 1 billion years, and they were carrying the thing, I was in A&E having my stomach pumped.
Were you?
And I never even saw what happened. And they show the highlights now, and they show this moment, and Kevin Peterson, who you won't have heard of, getting some runs, and we won. And in the background, you can see this ambulance going down the...
My sporting moment is this is my greatest one, but also a sort of confessional. Was I was 13? No, I was 12. I was at school, and I wasn't very good at sport, and I was made to be in the rugby team, and it was like open day, parents' day, and all the parents were there watching, and there was a kid in my class, and a really sweet lad, but he got basically a withered arm and a limp, and so obviously didn't put him in the team. And the captain, quite sweet, brought him on, right? Brought him on, just and there, so we're playing, there's now like a minute left, and everyone just leaves the field clear for him, and he's passed the ball, and he's running towards the try line, and I would imagine, you know, it's kind of a sort of Chariots of Fire moment. With his one good arm, he's got the ball, and he's hobbling along there. But then in my head, I heard the words of the captain, the words he'd been shouting at me all term, Richard, which are, Bacon, you need to tackle. You've never tackled anyone, and it's not good enough. And they went round and round. You've never tackled anyone. You've never tackled anyone.
And, like, you was looking at this while registering those words.
Yeah.
Just looking.
Yeah.
I had a situation like that, man. I remember this was years ago, I was sitting with my girlfriend, and we was drinking wine and stuff. We was both a little drunk late at night. And you know how when you think you're thinking something, but then you say it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and I thought what I was thinking was, I would really fuck the hell out of Janet Jackson. But apparently I said that. And I know that I said it because at first I was like, hey, that wine bottle is in the middle of the... Oh, shit!
Well, mine was, the words were going around, I didn't say them, but I acted upon them.
Just to be clear, is the captain actually ordering you at this point, or are you just...
No, all season he's been having a go at me for never tackling. And then I broke free from the pack, and he's just about to get to the try line, and everyone's kind of cheering, and I got there, and Russell, I took him down.
That is dark, mate. You did that in front of his parents?
Yeah.
That's evil, though. I think a boo is in order.
And you've gone on to a fantastic media career, and he probably somewhere broken and destroyed, because that was his moment.
Reg, I have a little bit of justice. I don't know if Richard knows about this. From my seat, I'm going to do a little pass to you on a crash mat, which we've got ready before you say it's not safe. Well, it's not safe, but... And guess what I'm going to do? I'm not going to tackle you. I'm going to use one of these 4 burly lads to bring you down.
So it's just one... So one of you... 2 of you... 2 of you?
2 of us. 1 or 2? 2.
Have you seen the size of you?
He's got an upper body and a lower body. We need to break both of it.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Hope we get it, guys.
3, 2, 1, go! Pass. Taken!
Oh, my hand! Oh, we'll be back after this break. And Murray, what would you like to talk about next?
Well, the thing is I'm not really a sports fan. You can put me in front of a football match and I find it mind-numbingly tedious. So what would you do to a sport, this is my question, to make it more interesting, to liven it up?
OK, interesting. What would you do, Al?
Well, Formula 1, I'm a fan of Formula 1. I think what would liven that up is when they come in for the pit stop, they have to... So I can relate to it, because one of the things I like about Formula 1 is people driving, which I can kind of do. I can't kick balls or hit balls, bad at it, but I can drive. So what I think they should do is when they pull in for a pit stop, they've got to get a meal deal. Yeah. And they're given £3, and whoever comes away with the best meal deal on the pit stop, that goes towards their points at the end of the tournament. So you know, if there's any doubt about draws or anything, who did the best on the meal deal?
I've always thought with the marathon it would spice things up if they had to pay for their drinks.
Chris, what's yours?
I hate football. I can't stand it. I used to pretend I liked it. And, it makes it worse when all the women clap. I'll be honest, it makes it worse on myself. I know I'm not a real man. All the women going, yeah, you're right, he never turns it off, the twat. I hate it. So I do, and I think they should hand out, like, just instead of red cards or yellow cards, the red card and the yellow card should be on a rotation with a P45 and the death penalty. Just on a rotation, you know, like just like say, oh, you've spat at the ref, oh, just a yellow this time, oh, they go in a bag. But then like you've took your top up celebrating, you're getting gassed. Sorry, mate.
How about if everyone in the stadium could just join in?
Yeah, and they should when they do their legs, if you like break your leg or they hurt their leg, someone should just come on and put them down like with a horse.
That is good.
Yeah, really good. Yeah,
Tim Key.
I watched the tennis, and the thing about the ladies' tennis is there are bits and pieces in it which I've really enjoyed. Like back in the day, I always enjoyed Graf and Sabatini because you knew where you were. Like Graf and Sabatini were there doing their thing. Then afterwards, Henan and Cloisters. Now it's very difficult to get a handle on. You know, the Williams sisters are there, but they don't always compete, and so you just end up with these people who you don't know who they are. So and after they sort of go up and down the rankings, and you can't get a handle on. You don't have 4 people who are ideal. And I really like Federer's wife. She's fine. Because you see her every tournament, she's just always there. So what I would do is ditch the women and just have the men's wives playing a tournament.
Yeah. Although that would definitely give an advantage to Andre Agassi's wife.
That would give an advantage.
Because that would be Steffi Graf.
But it wouldn't, because the rule I would have is that basically Federer's wife plays against Federer's first-round opponent's wife in the first round. Whoever progresses out of the men, Federer or this other guy, best out of the women as well. So effectively, the female matches are just exhibition games, and and actually, I'm uncomfortable talking about it because I don't think I fully believe in it.
I actually think.
For me, it all depends what noises they're making. Because the female tennis, I'd sometimes have to put it on mute because it sounds like I'm killing someone in my flat.
The noises are weird. Is it as a ranker this year? She sounded like a cheap firework rocket every time she kind of hit the ball. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for your tweets in the audience. How would you improve a sport? This is Andrew Cheek. The managers of each side in football should be given tranquiliser guns and 3 darts that they can tactically use at any point in the season. That is an excellent idea, and I sincerely hope that you work for the FA. And Boy Winkles says, stop. Losers of any game have to do something really disgusting, like give a horse a blowy.
What would you win an Olympic gold medal for?
Because Amir Khan, you won a silver medal. I don't quite understand about the Olympics and fighting. Is you can't now, because we've got the London Olympics coming up, but you can't take part, can you?
Once you turn professional, you're in the paid ranks. You can't go back into the amateurs.
Because
I think it's the only one. It's one of the only sports that doesn't let professionals in the Olympics.
I don't understand that because if you're a professional tennis player,
you're allowed,
you can play, and the footballers can play.
That's right, and
that seems like a crazy rule to me.
It is.
You fighting in the London Olympics?
That would have been brilliant.
You reckon if you could have a go,
I'll go for the gold medal.
And you would win it, Amir.
Oh, definitely. This time I would win it.
And we all know that you would win it. Holly, what about yourself?
I want to be one of those badass ping pong players. You know, they're like guys who stand like 3 or 4 miles away from the back of the thing and they're like playing like tennis. I want to be able to walk into any youth club in the country and kick anyone's ass.
The question is this, can you actually play?
No.
Right.
Go in for all that like psyching out at the beginning.
Oh yeah, it happens a lot in boxing. I mean, you do head-to-head and you have to smell his...
Wear the old dressing gown.
You have to smell the smelly breath he has.
The smelly breath.
That's like sometimes they try to push the heads onto you and show that they're the bigger
Show me how it's done. Show me how it's done.
Yeah, I'll show you. Right, we're here now, yeah?
Watch me, I'm going to expand my chest.
I have to get my tiptoes down.
Ready?
Is it? You feel that tension then?
Yeah, I completely felt the tension.
Yeah,
I can't.
I can smell the tension.
Yeah. Tom, you gold medal. What could you win it at?
I think it would be the gymnastics floor. I like the stick and the ribbon. Okay, this is it, right? Come on, right? You can really give that a full... Because I did dance. I'm nimble. I might not look it, but I am properly nimble. My forward roll is second to none. That is 10 every time. That's it.
Come on, man up.
Who am I? Sorry.
Just do the bloody roll.
Well, there'll be a music on, and they always start in the corner. They always do that little thing. And then what I do is a lot of that. Swivel, twist, and then...
I think it's fair to say this audience are fairly easily impressed.
Today we've done hide and seek and roly poly. The least mature place I've ever been.
Welcome to the Beer and Pizza Club. Thank you very much, Tom. My gold medal would be for my resting heart rate, right? I got it checked recently, and I've got a really low resting heart rate. So I'm
good?
It's just great, you know. It's like my blood just like canters, just like ambles around my body. It's just like my blood is on holiday in Jamaica. It's just like chilling out. Whereas yours will be going 20 to the dozen, Tom.
Mine's pumping quite hard, but I didn't warm up before that routine, so...
Mine, when I had it checked, it was really pretty low. It was 45, and I think the average in a man is like maybe 60 or 70. I mean, do you know what yours is?
I think it's gone down to about 43.
So it's nearly the same as mine. But I'm like professional / Olympic athlete.
We need our heart rate to go high. We need to hit like 180 when we're training, but then we have that minute rest in the corner. We need to have it come down so quickly so we can go back into that next round and have a...
But you've got that because you're really fit. You would not believe some of the crap I put in my body.
Yeah, but you've got the same heart rate.
Yeah. Well, Amir and I, we got ourselves tested just before the show, and we don't know the results. The results are in a special gold envelope that I'll open in a moment. But Amir came into my dressing room, and Simon joined us and monitored our heart rate for us. So here we go. This is myself and Amir in my dress. Look, that looks like a weigh-in before Amir Khan's easiest ever fight. Look, I'm taking it really seriously. Right, ladies and gentlemen, that is bollocks. That is bollocks. Me, 71, Amir, 55.
My question is, what is the most pointless sport?
What's the most pointless sport?
The one I really loathe is those ones, you know?
Shot put.
The shot put. People spend their life training to do that. That doesn't inspire me. That depresses me. Obviously, when the Olympics was, you know, amateur and stuff like that. But, you know, everybody wants to get their country up the medal table. Somebody will dedicate their life to that now. Back in the day, you're right, it would have been, hello, I'm an ornithologist, and on the side, I do the shot put for Great Britain. But now, it's somebody's life is devoted to...
Mark Wright from the Anyways Essex, which I believe is your full name. What do you think is the most pointless sport?
I'm going to go with croquet.
OK, so not croquet. Croquet's pointless, Mark. Explain why croquet is pointless.
It just is. It's just effortless, and I just think it's shocking. If you're going to play something with a stick and balls, play golf.
Yeah.
No, croquet is a wonderful sport because it's one of those sports where you do drunk. It is an afternoon, some pims on the lawn. Anyone for croquet? You know what I mean?
Tom, what's yours?
Mine is synchronized swimming, man.
Synchronized swimming?
Yeah, man.
Why, Tom? Why?
I just think that was an accident that somebody turned into a sport, man. Just two guys in a pool going, I can't believe we did that the same. Somebody's got to judge us today. Here, you put your arm up and I'll put my arm up. That'll be really great. Hey, let's do this in the shallow end where it's even easier.
Mark, right, Mark?
Good sports are normally, if you ask me, challenging. Like croquet is not very challenging.
Oh, I have a problem with it.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's sexist. Did you know that? It's a sexist Olympic sport.
Why?
It is women's only.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, only no man wants to do that.
I think there's lots of guys that'd like to do that.
My most pointless sport is football.
I'm sorry, did you say football?
Yeah, sorry, Andrew. Yes, sorry, thank you.
What is it about the world's greatest sport that you don't appreciate?
Well, because I think it's a story with no end. It's the same reason I don't really watch soap operas either. So your team, right, wins the... hello there, Roxanne Pallett, formerly of Emmerdale. Look,
say your big team wins the big trophy of all, the Champions League, right?
Yes.
To me, that would be like, that's the big moment. We've been working towards this. It's over. And all that happens is, the next day, back page, there'll be some speculation that the manager's going to leave.
Right.
It just never ends. Football started 150 years before you were born, and it'll carry on long after you're dead. And the players don't care that much about the team, and the manager doesn't, and they'll go somewhere else if you offer them a lot of money. You're just supporting a name. And it's pointless and long.
Well, it's 90 minutes.
If there was no football, where would these drunk hooligans go to burn shit down? It is like a soap opera, Roxanne. We enjoy it because, man, it makes us angry. It gives us emotion. I mean, we just had the Stanley Cup, which is probably your Canadians' version of soccer, except played on ice and had nothing to do with football. Our team in Vancouver lost, and we burnt down the city. That's how much fun we were having.
I'll tell you what I did watch. I did watch recently, and I was very pleasantly surprised. The Women's World Cup.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing, compared to the men's football, the women's football, there's very little acting like a big girl. Genuinely, you don't... Anytime there was a tackle, there was nobody rolling around on the floor, there was no fanning around. These women act like real men.
Anyone else got any thoughts on the most pointless sport?
Tennis! Ping pong!
They're working their way through all sports.
Yes.
There is no pointless sport.
OK, thank you, sir. Thank you there. That's a good answer. What's your name?
Daniel.
Why is there no pointless sport?
With every sport, there's something exciting.
Including the shot put down?
Yeah, everything. There's always something to look at. There's always something, like, challenging. Could you do every single sport? You couldn't, could you?
No, of course
every
not.
sport is a technique sort of thing.
What about lawn bowls?
Yeah, even that's a technique. How could you do lawn bowls?
I reckon I probably could. Daniel, you can pick the winner if you like from the four of us.
I've got to agree with Mark, croquet.
Croquet, Mark, you're the winner.